money to make things happen in their own lives and in your family life. And so this is a part of us empowering you, our community partners.
That's it for us. We're out of time. And I know you wish you could spend more time with them. We're going to arrange, like what you said, to a hotel so that you come down. And, you know, I was really touched by the widow's story. There are people there alone in the home. And this is providing comfort to rebuild their strength so that you know, Mama, you still have value. There's still something that's inside of you that the world needs. We're moving our clients from dependency to self-sufficiency to economic empowerment. We love you. God bless.
This has been a production of the Ministry of Social Services, Information and Broadcasting, the heartbeat of the nation, where we move our clients from dependency to self-sufficiency to economic empowerment.
At the 66 Steps, I'm Matea Cunningham. This is ZNS.
It's What's Trending with Jiminita Swain and the Bahama Beauty at the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas from Studio A. It all starts right now.
If you're gonna end the week, you might as well do it right. I'm Jiminita Swain. It's Thursday, March 19th, and we're closing things out with a show that's anything but ordinary. Let's get into it. St. Patrick's Day may be over, but the Guinness Block Party this weekend is where the celebration continues. Enjoy great drinks, live entertainment, and exciting prizes all in one place. We've got the details. Also, digital currency is changing the way we do business here in the Bahamas, and it's happening now. One local entrepreneur shares how the sand dollar is transforming the way customers pay and how businesses are adapting to this new digital economy. But that's not all. Millennials, game changers, or culture disruptors, we're looking at what they've improved and what they may have ruined. All that and so much more on the other side of the break.
Like, what you grabbing all these pizzas, boy?
Wait, Marcos, wait. We have a special on all the large one-topping pizzas, wait.
Pineapple.
All.
Barbecue.
All. Hey, VAT included, but
I need the $10 special plate. How many would you like? 20 in it. Thank you so much, man. $10, that's it? The Marcos got that deal, boy.
I'm in heaven, and my heart beats so that I can hardly speak. Out together, dancing cheek to cheek.
I'm Jordan, by the way. Tom.
The internet isn't just for surfing. There's a sea of shoppers buying online, and you can connect with them on Tingsy. Tingsy is the SBDC's online storefront built for Bahamians. Take your business to the next level by selling to customers online, both at home and around the world. People want Bahamian things, and if you got things to sell, sell on Tingsy. Find out how you can connect with a sea of buyers by visiting tingsybahamas.com.
for something hyped to do this weekend? Well, we may just have the perfect event, especially for our Guinness lovers. It's a time of year again for St. Patrick's Day celebrations, and preparations are in full swing for the Guinness block party at Smuggler Square happening this weekend. It's not only expected to be an exciting evening, but there's also an enticing trip up for grabs. Joining us now to tell us more about it is Jared Cartwright, Guinness brand manager at Commonwealth Brewery Limited. Welcome back to What's Trending, Jared.
Happy to be here.
Always a pleasure, I know. So what's the plans for St. Patrick's Day celebrations this year, and how are those preparations going so far?
Like you said, we are in full swing. This year is going to be really exciting. We have some really well-known local DJs, DJ Tang, DJ Pressure, Playhouse Family. But this year we are going to put a little spin on it, make things a little bit smoother. So we're decorating in the smooth element of things, I would say. But definitely it's all about winning a trip to Jamaica.
Okay, you're jumping again. I was just getting into that. So that is going to be, I think, the official Guinness Enter to Win campaign, I think you're alluding to. So tell us how that works, because you know a trip is always good.
It is, especially to Jamaica.
Right.
But it is, you purchase 4 Guinness, you scan the QR code, upload your receipt, and you enter to it. So it's very simple, very easy to do, and very cheap, I would say, affordable as well.
You can't beat that. That sounds like a no-brainer. And of course, we talked about the drinks. Guinness is going to be the star of the event. Will there be any specially crafted Guinness cocktails available at the event?
Most definitely. So this year we've partnered with Mr. Mix, who will create some specialty cocktails with Guinness, Guinness Smooth, and also some Irish bourbon. So it's going to be a little something for everybody. Everybody can come out and enjoy, and we'll have a little something for you, whether it's just a regular Guinness or it's a crafted cocktail. So it'll be a lot of fun.
So for the people who are watching now and still kind of deciding, okay, what I can do this weekend, should I go, shouldn't I go? Why is this the must-attend event?
First of all, Guinness would be there, which is my favorite drink. But secondly, you have an opportunity to win a trip to Jamaica with a friend. So 2 persons, all expense paid trip to Jamaica. More information to come on that. So be the first person out the gate to win, and you know, you'll get some more exciting information on that as well.
That sounds good. And finally, remind everyone where and when, and even how they should dress. Should they feel like they need to be dressed like a lucky Irish too? I mean, let them know what they need to know for this big block party.
It's all about fun, so if you want to go all out, please do so. I will be very entertained, but definitely just come as you are. It's Smuggler Square. It starts at 8 p.m., and we will be on time and ready to have some fun.
All right. Well, that sounds like it's going to be a great time indeed, and you throw in a possibility of heading to Jamaica. What more? What more you need? Well, thank you so much, Jared, for being here. It's always a blast having you with us, and I'm sure everything is going to be a whole lot of fun on the weekend.
Definitely.
And so remember, all roads lead to Smuggler Square this weekend, March 21st, for the Guinness St. Patrick's Day block party. Still ahead, the sand dollar and how it's transforming business in the Bahamas.
You already started. You turned your passion into income. Time to level up. The Tourism Development Corporation's calling entrepreneurs ages 18 to 35 to enter the Blue, Orange, and Green Economy Pitch Competition on March 30th. If you're building something connected to tourism, this is your opportunity. This is your chance. Visit tdcbahamas.com to learn more about the different economies, program eligibility, and apply by March 23rd.
Behind every strong economy is a bold entrepreneur, and we're here to support them, island by island. Only through, we've helped 122 entrepreneurs turn their dreams into thriving businesses. Through over $3 million in approved funding, the SBDC is strengthening Eleuthero's economy by investing in its leading sectors: tourism, food and beverage, and agriculture. No matter the island, every business we support strengthens the economy, starting with yours. SBDC, Bahamas.
Digital payments are becoming more commonplace across the globe, and the Bahamas is no exception. With the introduction of the sand dollar, businesses now have another way to serve customers in a fast and secure digital space.
Economics, presented by Sand Dollar, the digital Bahamian dollar.
Joining us now is Lakaris Brown, president of Cybertech Career College, who has incorporated the sand dollar into his business model to share what that experience has been like. So thank you so much, Mr. Brown, for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me today.
Awesome, awesome. So let's start with the basics. What made you decide to accept the sand dollar in your business structure?
Well, we realized that sand dollar is more easy, is more convenient, less paperwork. So whereas that we have our students who are going directly to sand dollar, they just give the name of our business, and it's just a click of a button. The money is done. The money is there.
Easy peasy.
Easy payment.
So for our viewers who may not be familiar with the sand dollar, how does it actually work when students are making a payment?
Okay, so when a student goes to any of the locations of Suncash, they can just go ahead and say, okay, I'm making a payment for Cybertech, right? They give the name of the business, the cashier takes the funds from the student, they put it onto our account, and by 10, 20 minutes, we get the funds.
What would you say to other business owners who may be considering applying it in their business model?
Well, I would say this, that with Suncash, you can easily download the app. Incorporated in your business is more easy because when you look at the transactions between between Suncash and the business, right, it is more convenient. It's more, you can access the transactions more accessible, less fees, because with Suncash, they don't charge you a huge amount of fees. All right? Like, let's say for the bank, we'll charge you to wire funds to the institution. It's way less than that, probably approximately about $1 or so.
Okay.
You know, the fees are way less, all right?
That makes a lot of sense.
So I encourage business owners to incorporate Suncash in their business, okay? Because, like I mentioned again, you can download your statement of account right then and there.
And that makes it easier.
And it makes it easier for the accounts person to work on.
That's a good point. So I know that Cybertech has been around, I believe, since 1999. Give us an idea of what are some of the programs you offer. What do you do actually as an institution?
So with Cybertech, we've been around since 1999. We got incorporated with the Ministry of Education in 2005 in April. And when NACOP came around in 2018, we were registered with NACOP. So at Cybertech, we offered associate's degree programs in accounts, in business administration, human resource, paralegal, law, and also in office administration. So with these degrees, we are trying to incorporate a more of a global standard rather than a textbook learning. Okay. So we incorporate, let's say, hands-on experience rather than we're pulling away from the textbook.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Brown, for joining us today. Definitely a greater understanding of how sand dollar has made things smoother over there at Cybertech. So thank you so much for joining us
Thank
today.
you for having me today. Thank you.
Awesome. So we just looked at how the sand dollar is transforming businesses. Now let's talk about another big disruptor, millennials, and the way they've changed the game completely. Stay with us.
If you would like to be a part of What's Trending, DM us on Instagram at What's Trending on ZNS.
at Little Caesars. And good. Our popular Chicago-style pizza is back for a limited time only. Enjoy this delicious, thick, buttery crust pizza that's packed with layers of cheese, meats, and veggies for just $18. That inclusive. Now available at all 5 of our locations. Little Caesars, Oakville, Carmichael Road, East Street, Pineapple Plaza, Charles Saunders Highway, and 1 East Plaza.
Pizza, pizza.
Heaven, I'm in heaven, and my heart beats so that I can hardly speak. Out together, dancing cheek to cheek.
I'm Jordan, by the way. Tom.
Get ready, because this might just get a little heated. Today, we're diving into the great generation debate. What did millennials actually fix, and what did they completely ruin? From side hustles and social media to relationships, work culture, and even how we spend our money. Everything is on the table. We've got the perfect panel to break it all down. Joining us, we have Cynthia Ferguson holding it down for the millennials, and Matea Stewart here to speak on behalf of Gen Z. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Happy
to be
here.
So now I will be throwing out some hot topics, and yes, I'll be chiming in too, but here's the twist. Each of them has to decide, millennials, did they fix it or ruin it? Okay, and of course, we've got to back it up with a little explanation. So let's get into it.
Okay.
Work-life balance. Millennials help to push the conversation around flexible schedules, remote work, mental health, work in the workplace. Now, that idea shouldn't revolve entirely around the office and that traction. What do you think? Do you?
Absolutely fixed it.
Absolutely
fixed it. Yeah, I think there was a time where everything was work. Work ruled the day, and family was being, left out. Your mental health and your personal time for yourself was being left out. And then we turned around and we said, I ain't coming in today.
Oh.
I'm taking a mental health day.
Oh.
I'm taking all of my PTO, right? And so we said, we need to figure out how to balance life, how to balance work. I think we fixed it. I think we're doing a great job.
Okay, and what about you, Medea? You agree?
I'd have to agree. As a Gen Z, I can definitely say I think millennials walked so that we can run. I think that things are now starting to modernize a bit again with the mental health days and the paid time off. I think I come from a generation where it's like, we don't want to, and we just simply don't.
Y'all ain't.
And ain't.
Y'all ain't.
We walked so they could work from home.
Right. And so I like the balance, though, because as you said, Cynthia, it was that time where everything was work.
Yes.
Like, it's just like, if you wanted some time off, it's like, well,
you felt
what you need time
for
what you need time off for.
Yeah.
Right. So no, I think I like that. So that was a good one.
Yes.
All right, so technology and convenience. So from using mobile banking to food delivery and rideshare apps, millennials quickly embrace this normalized technology that makes every day faster and more convenient. Fixed, ruined, what do you think?
I'm in the middle here because I think while it fixed it for us by making life a little bit more convenient, it's also made us a little bit lazier. We don't do a lot of the things we should be doing. We don't walk the places we should be going. I saw a video the other day where the woman was like, see me here enjoying my meal from DoorDash that came up to $69.99. Worrying about it, just gone for it myself. It would have only cost $10. And I'm like, ma'am, right? And so it's kind of made us a little bit more lazy. We're wasting so much money by, I'm leaning on these services. It's a give and take for me. I'm like Switzerland on this one, straight down the middle.
Okay, what about you, Medea?
Honestly, I was gonna say that I would say was a definite pro, but listening to Anthea, I feel like I'm split down the middle too. Because while I enjoy technology, I'm a technology girl. I love ChatGPT.
Yeah.
I love AI. I love online banking. I like being able to see the news digitally. I can agree that I do think it's making us lazy, especially AI. I find that when I'm reading nowadays, like my attention span is like short, my retention is short, and so I do think think it's making us lazier. But being the devil's advocate, I do think I can appreciate how far technology has pushed us.
Absolutely.
I like the changes that we've seen. I think it needed to happen. I think it's just a part of evolution. But like anything else, you need to have balance in there. So
sure.
I think that part of it is actually key. So it's up to you if you want to spend that DoorDash money, then,
or just hop in your car and drive to the restaurant. You know, you could see something, you could take a nice photo. Like, there's so much life to be lived outside of the convenience of technology.
That is true.
Yes.
So we move to social awareness, and that's something that's been big with this generation. They've been vocal about issues like sustainability, diversity, social justice, encouraging companies and institutions to be more transparent and socially responsible. So you think that's something fixed or ruined?
Millennials fixed it. The Gen Zers are ruining it. I just feel like, I'm like, hold on now.
They don't do much?
No, not what's going on in the world. What? Now, for the most part, and for
hey, back it up. Let me hear you back it up now.
Trust me, I'm going hard on this one.
For those of them who are in the social media space, the social media realm, I think they're a little bit more well-read, but generally speaking, they're sharing nothing about nothing happening in the world.
I with you.
Like, you cannot have a sensible conversation about anything happening in the news, anything happening around the corner. They are not socially aware. We try to show them and put them on as what it should be. Be more aware of what's going on. They're ruining the work, Jimmy.
Let me have Matasha look like she's ready to fly off this thing.
I have much to say.
Let me hear this.
So I actually think Gen Z is extremely social aware to the point where we might know too much. I think where we lack is in the call to action part. I think we know a lot, but we're not necessarily the best with doing something about what we know. For example, on social media, I see a lot of people, they're boycotting businesses now because of what they stand for. So again, that's social awareness. For example, Starbucks is being boycotted currently for what they believe in or for lack of what they don't believe in. And so I think Gen Z is definitely socially aware. We could be a bit more active in what we choose to do with that knowledge, but a primary form I've seen so far is people boycotting businesses, and that is heavy. And celebrities too. Nicki Minaj boycotted. No one is tuning into Nicki Minaj right now. That's a different topic for a different day.
And with that said, are they socially aware of what they only see on social media? Yeah.
You got me there. That's a good one. You got going right back to the balance is one thing to bring attention to it, and then to me, it's the agenda behind it. Like, are you doing it from a point of raising awareness and allowing the person that you're speaking to, your audience, to connect and agree and decide for themselves, or are you just pushing this narrative because you have your own particular agenda?
Which is true, because I must say Gen Z, and I could say millennials as well, a lot of it is following trends too. A lot of it is standing up for what you claim to believe in or what you claim to support because that's the trend on social media.
It's trending.
Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense. So now, this one gonna be interesting. So the traditional office culture, the old 9-to-5 mindset, you know, that's been challenged. These young people stay in late. You know, like usually you had the staying working and celebrating the shift. That was something that was, okay, you don't mind staying some extra time. Those expectations have changed. But I want to hear from you, Cynthia, and Mateo.
I think I like what's happening now with, I think we spoke about it a little earlier, the work-life balance. And now we talk about the workplace culture, right? I've been working from home for myself. I did that for like 10 years, right? And I do feel like we've done a great job at exposing what else is out there outside of the office, right? We can be so much more productive at home, so much more productive from a coffee shop. I don't have to meet you in person. We could meet on Zoom. I am loving the space that we're in and just really diversifying what the work day and the workplace culture looks like. So Gen Zers, we're passing the baton on. Okay. Make sure y'all do well with the work we've done so far.
We're holding the baton and we're holding it strongly.
Because they won't come in either.
They won't come, but I think they're the ones who ain't staying beyond. They doing that 9-to-5 and they out. You know, they ain't pretending to be busy either.
And
either they there or not.
And I don't blame them.
Yeah, I can definitely say, I have to agree with you. I think things have modernized, and especially with technology, we no longer have to work from the office. The 9-to-5 has molded in a way where we can do things things. Maybe the task doesn't have to be done from 9 to 5, but it can be done from 9 to 1.
Exactly.
And now we're maximizing free time. Now we can go and maybe take up a part-time position somewhere else. There's different ways to do different things. I do think that Gen Z can be a little stubborn, however, and we're very strong-minded. And so where the traditional 9 to 5 structure still exists in so many places, we just kind of stepping outside of that box and saying, nope.
But I would say too, though, like, being a millennial, like that 9 to 5 culture that I first grew up in when we first started to work, that did so much for me in terms of just fostering relationships with my coworkers.
Yeah, and that
learning
relationships that lasted beyond just the workplace too, like friends you've had for years, you know what I mean? So there's a lot to be said from that as well.
Exactly. So I do think like there could be like a healthy mix of both.
Right?
Yeah.
I agree.
All right, so now, obviously, we are all growing up in the social media, smartphone era, and it's a culture where people are always connected. So, but some argue we've become a little too connected, from TikTok to Instagram. The constant scroll has people glued to their phones, even in real life moments. So at parties, dinners, even events, instead of really talking and engaging with people right in the front of you, many of them are like this. They're locked into their phones. So did millennials normalize a more connected world or ruin how we connect in real life?
Love this one.
Take this one first while I think.
All right, Matea.
I love this one.
All right, let's hear this.
Honestly, I think I'm a good example of the negative side effects of how technology has made us socially awkward.
At least you're honest. At least you're honest. Because when you go out now, you go to a concert. I know it's one thing to want to capture maybe a part of a performance, but the entire night you are capturing it on your phone. That means you're not immersed and enjoying
the actual experience.
Performance. Even if you have some people when they go out to dinner, to dine, 2 people there, nobody talking, both in their phones, and I'm like, how are you gonna connect? Like, how are you gonna learn about each other? So
it's weird, you know, Jimmy, I actually saw a clip on social media the other day of this couple, and they were arguing because the lady sat down for the first 15 minutes of the meal trying to get the perfect picture of her meal, and the guy just wanted to eat. He just wanted to eat. And that sparked online debate. That started an online debate as well. But I think we're not as connected as we used to be. I think connection has almost lost its value, especially physical, social connection. It's lost its value because it's technically a lot more easy to just look down at a phone, type a few words, and say, I've done it, I've communicated, I've reached out.
Let's not talk about dating in other spheres where you have the Tinder and everybody just swiping in.
I think we've just misused it. I think what it was meant for was to connect. I remember in college, Facebook was, you needed to have a college email address to use Facebook.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. It was really to connect people in a way where, you know, you're there, I'm here, let's connect. But I think we've misused it. And we have brought what was online into our real life world where I ain't gotta talk to you. Like,
so we can't separate what should be online as it should have been versus when we actually have the person, like we're here now, we're talking, engaging. Well, like, how are you actually gonna learn about the person?
Right.
Yeah, we should and find that balance. But I feel like people are more interested in what their followers see, think, and believe, as opposed to what the person, you know, who's sitting in front of them is experiencing.
It just sounds like a slightly out of touch with reality.
A little bit. Plenty.
Yeah, so I would say it's ruined. We could work on it.
Yeah, I think we need to work on it. We need to work on it,
Definitely on a downward slope, though. Especially when you introduce the iPad babies and that generation.
Okay, well, that's a whole
different
conversation. Kettle of fish to deal with. So, of course, every generation reshapes the world in its own way. What some see as disruptions, others see as progress. So one thing is certain, millennials have had a major influence on modern culture, and their impact will likely continue shaping the way we live for years to come. Thanks to you both, Ainthia, Matea, for joining us today. This was a full and lively discussion and breaking it all down. So thank you again.
Thanks.
Of course.
Well, we'll be right back. What's trending isn't done yet.
Hi, I'm Brent Burrows, Vice President of Retail and Sales here at CBS Bahamas.
When it comes to hardware or home improvement items, we guarantee the lowest prices. That's our price match guarantee. If you find anything we sell for a lower price anywhere in the Bahamas, let us know about it. We will beat that price. We want your business. Shop at CBS Bahamas or cbsbahamas.com.
What's trending in business? Who's making major money moves? And how's it shaping your future? This is Economics, your front row seat to the biggest stories in business, innovation, and finance. Powered by the Sand Dollar, the digital currency of the Central Bank of the Bahamas. It's fast, secure, Bahamian. We're breaking down the numbers, the news, and what it means to you. Tune in every Thursday at 6 p.m. for the trends, the insights, and the stories that matter. Get informed, get inspired, get in the mix with Economics. Coachella is calling, and your VIP festival adventure could just be a Heineken away. The Coachella dream starts here. Pack your bags, grab your best friend, and get VIP festival access, flights, hotel, and passes included. Pick up a Heineken 6-pack at any 700 Wines and Spirits. WhatsApp your receipt to 826-7687 or scan the QR code on your screen. Don't wait. Entries close April 2nd. Let the music, laughs, and memories begin. Well, thanks for tuning in, and remember, life's better when it's trending. Stay connected with us on Instagram at What's Trending on ZNS. We'll see you Monday at 6 p.m. Have a great weekend, everyone.
At Rusty Bethel Drive, I'm Paiswell Forbes. This is ZNS.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Here's a look at stories making news tonight.
A contract signing marking a major step forward for healthcare in Grand Bahama. Also, the chief passport officer responding to concerns over passport fraud. And the race for Marco City seat is on as all candidates express confidence in victory.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thanks so much for tuning in. Topping news tonight, a contract signing marking a step forward in healthcare for Grand Bahama as the Public Hospitals Authority moves ahead with renovations to Davies House, a facility providing critical diagnostic services. Sherelle Dames was there and has the details in this report.
After the devastation of Hurricane Dorian and the impact of COVID-19, Davies House closed its doors to specialized care, forcing patients and staff to share space at the Rand Memorial Hospital. In some instances, creating a bottleneck as services were consolidated. Now, with contracts signed, officials say that is about to change. The project, expected to take about 4 months, will transform the facility into a modern space for outpatient care, including ophthalmology and mammogram services.
it really allows those persons to come back in their space because we have the equipments there. Now we need to look to also in terms of modernizing those levels of equipment so that we have the state of the art. As well as I said, we housed other services there. Because of the displacement of Dorian, we were also housing postnatal services. We were also housing wound care, and we know that's very important because you have persons who have surgical wounds, they have diabetic wounds, and so the ability to have this renovated really causes persons not to really have to come into the acute care spaces, but could really have those services on an outpatient basis.
Hospital Administrator Tavard Bastian says the upgrades will reduce pressure on the main hospital by creating a space where patients can access care outside of the acute setting.
Challenges that we're faced now, similar to what our managing director would have said earlier, is with our bed shortages. So what it mean for the renovations to the Davies House is when we relocate the services, we are going to make sure that the relocation is accessible and also that it's comfortable for both the patients and also our staff alike.
The contract was awarded to Best Living Services, a construction company on Grand Bahama. The project, which is expected to take about 4 months, will transform the facility into a modern space for outpatients. Work will include major structural and system upgrades as contractors move to improve both functionality and accessibility at the facility.
Redoing the roof, the mold, changing all the windows, the AC ducts, the bathrooms, we turn it into showers. Some ceiling work as well. We putting a ramp in the back for access for the ambulance.
Officials say once completed, Davies House will not only look different, but function more efficiently, improving access to care for residents in Grand Bahama. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Sherelle Dames.
Well, in other news, the debate over alleged passport fraud is intensifying tonight, with the opposition raising concerns about the scale of the issue, while government officials insist stronger safeguards are now in place. Chief Passport Officer Nicholas Simonet is responding to claims made in Parliament, outlining what he says are major improvements to the system and clarifying the number of cases currently under investigation. Shalia Roll has that story.
The issue of alleged passport fraud is drawing renewed attention as conflicting claims emerge from government and opposition officials over the scope of the problem. During a sitting of the House of Assembly on Wednesday, opposition leader Michael Pintard asserting that more than 200 cases involving passports, National Insurance Board cards, and voters' cards are currently under investigation, raising concerns about the integrity of the system. Responding to those claims, Chief Passport Officer Nicholas Simonet addressed the matter during a press briefing, offering clarification and the steps being taken by authorities. Simonet confirmed that the Passport Office has referred 98 cases specifically related to passports to the Royal Bahamas Police Force for investigation, while not directly disputing the broader probes may involve other forms of identification.
Each referral includes a police report, a sworn statement outlining the findings of the office, and a detailed internal audit document that possesses history within the passport system. These measures are taken to ensure transparency and to protect both the integrity of the process and the staff responsible for administrating it.
Simonet also acknowledging that the passport renewal system implemented in 2019 had notable weaknesses, explaining that applicants were previously required to submit only an existing passport, photographs, completed forms, and an NIB smart card. According to the Chief Passport Officer, those vulnerabilities have since been identified and addressed, with corrective measures introduced to strengthen the process.
Cases should not be interpreted as a failure of the system. Rather, it demonstrates that the strengthening review process now in place are successfully identifying the irregularities and ensuring that the suspected fraud is referred to the appropriate authorities for investigation and possible prosecution.
He further explained that the system has now been significantly enhanced, with applications undergoing between 6 and 8 layers of verification to better detect and prevent fraud.
Reliance on the 2019 policy and reinstated the full verification procedures originally designed within the passport processing system. Under the restored framework, The new passport application passed through 8 stages of review, while renewal application undergo at least 6 verification steps.
Now the passport office says it's continuing to exercise due diligence, maintaining that protecting the integrity of Bahamian passports remain a priority as investigations proceed. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shalia Rowe.
Meantime, police are sending a clear warning on sex crimes, particularly those involving children. We spoke with officers from the Criminal Investigations Department's Sexual Offenses Unit who say those who commit these acts or fail to report them will face serious legal consequences. Jolanda Thompson-Everest has the details in this report.
Advocates are raising concern over what they describe as a troubling rise in sexual assault cases across the country, particularly those involving children. Just last week in Grand Bahama, a 49-year-old man was charged with unlawful sexual intercourse involving an 8-year-old and a 9-year-old. A mother also appearing before the court accused of 3 counts of failing to report the sexual abuse of a 9-year-old child. Police officials say persons who commit these types of acts must face serious legal consequences.
We have a close relationship with the Department of Social Services, and a lot of our matters, they derive from that department. For example, if a student complains to a teacher or guidance counselor, Social Services, they get involved at that point. They interview the child, conduct their investigation, and that information is then passed on to us, and we start our investigation.
Delancey explains that while police are responsible for bringing charges, it is the courts that decide the final sentence. He says the most common charges involve permitting the defilement of a young person or failing to report the abuse of a minor.
The offenses vary. If we go with permitting defilement, you can get up to 10 years according to the law. If you fail to report the matter, according to the Sexual Offences Act, you can get up to a year in prison.
Meanwhile, Detective Corporal British Cooper says authorities remain concerned, particularly when individuals in position of trust exploit that responsibility.
We cannot have children in anyone's care, not protecting them, not meeting the social standards for them, and taking care of them, nurturing them. So when we find out that it's not being done, and most times the child can reveal it, they are placed before open court.
And when it comes to why some cases go unreported, Cooper points to several contributing factors.
Being single mothers and single parent is a contributing factor. Not having assistance from other family members or the community, that's a contributing factor.
The female detective stresses that the responsibility to report abuse does not rest solely on parents or guardians. She emphasizes that everyone has a legal obligation to speak up when a child is being abused.
There are laws for neighbors and persons out there that do not report. It's not only for parents, it's not for dependents. There are laws out there for everyone.
According to police data, Grand Bahama recorded 10 rapes, 18 cases of unlawful sexual intercourse, and 10 indecent assaults in 2025. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson-Everest.
Thanks, Yolanda. Well, the battle lines have officially been drawn between the major political parties as all candidates set to contest the upcoming general election have now been ratified. Turning our focus to Grand Bahama, one of the most closely watched constituencies is Marco City. All candidates vying to become the area's next member of parliament say they are confident that when the ballots are counted, it will be them representing the constituency in the halls of parliament. The proverbial bell is being polished and ready to ring as government officials hint that a general election could be called at any time. Here on Grand Bahama, one of the key battlegrounds is Marco City. All major parties have now ratified their candidates. For the governing Progressive Liberal Party, candidate Eddie Wan says since receiving the nod, he has been actively engaging with residents, listening to their concerns and sharing his vision for the constituency.
We probably hit close to 1,000 homes, I don't think I can even sit here and tell you that even one person has been rude.
And after weeks of door-to-door engagement, Juan says that interaction has only strengthened his confidence heading into the race.
I know I'm going to win. I've stopped the if, and I'm when. Because I know who I am. I know what I'm about. I know what I bring to the table. I know what I'm going to do.
But it is no easy task. For the past 2 election cycles, the seat has been held by Free National Movement leader Michael Pintard, who was officially ratified late Wednesday night in the capital. Pintard returning to Grand Bahama on Thursday, overwhelmed by the show of support.
I'm really grateful, and my heart is full right now. I'm grateful.
And to the people of Marco City and Grand Bahama, Pintard had this message.
It has been my honor to stand with all of the residents of Grand Bahama. I saw us rally after Matthew. We rallied after Dorian. We rallied through COVID. And Grand Bahama is strong because we know how to work across the political divide.
Meanwhile, Coalition of Independence candidate Jillian Bartlett is also making her presence felt on the ground. She says residents are ready for change.
I speak with individuals in Marco City. I'm actually calling it Grand Marco City. They are telling me, not me, that they want something different.
And as voters prepare to head to the polls, her message to constituents is straightforward.
Give the Coalition of Independence just this one chance, and we can make a bigger difference than they'll ever see under any of the other career political parties.
And still to come.
Education officials launch Rake and Scrape Month. Stay tuned. That story, sports, and more when we come back.
Step into a life of luxury and convenience with the Commonwealth Bank Platinum Card. From earning premium cashback rewards on every dollar spent to enjoying comprehensive travel insurance, shop with confidence, knowing your purchases are protected. Our Platinum Concierge service turns your requests into reality, wherever life takes you. Let the Commonwealth Bank Platinum Card be your passport to exceptional experiences. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Come on down and see what Dolly Madison has in store for you. Renovate and rejuvenate at Dolly Madison.
Get ready, Grand Bahama. Freeport Fashion Week is back, and it's bigger, bolder, and bursting with color. From show-stopping silhouettes to unforgettable runway moments, local designers take center stage as dreams come alive at the Stoned Crab Tano Beach. Don't miss the opening night fashion show on March 20th at 7 p.m. Tickets are on sale at the Grand Bahama Port Authority headquarters and the Stoned Crab Restaurant. All proceeds will go to support sewing and fashion programs at our local high school. Freeport Fashion Week 2026. Dream in color.
Get your hats ready for the Rose of Sharon Hat Show presented by the Women's Ministries of Community at Heart Tabernacle, Church of God of Prophecy on Coral Road. Come hat ready on March 29th at 5 p.m. and join in this fundraising event.
At Save More Drugs, we got you. We got what you want. We got what you need. We got what you came for. The quality you expect, the prices you need and deserve. Save more at Save More Drugs.
We lead off with this report. This one is a good one to lead off with for Sunday.
Your weekend news just got better. Exciting features, good vibes. It's all about the feeling.
Hey, I'm Raven, and your Sundays never felt so good. Tune into Northern Service Vibes, where culture meets conversation, every Sunday at 6:30 p.m. only on the ZNS Network.
Your number one team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
Welcome back. An explosion of culture, color, and rhythm filled the C.A. Smith building recently as education officials kicked off Rake and Scrape Month in Grand Bahama in true Bahamian style. Our Raven Davis was there and has the details in this report.
Bahamian-themed textbooks, authentic cuisine, and handcrafted bags and hats made from thatch were all on display, giving attendees a full cultural experience. But perhaps the highlight of the event, a lively Rake and Scrape band that kept the energy high and the crowd moving. The celebration comes as March is recognized as Bahamian History Month, and educational officials say the goal is clear: ensure young people understand and embrace their cultural identity.
students are learning about math and science and language arts, but using Rake and Scrape as a mode. So poetry, dance, how they use the saw, how they use the accordion, how they use the drum. And so all of it is infused in our curriculum.
From music to storytelling, educators are finding creative ways to bring culture into the classroom, and students are responding with excitement.
Our children know how to use the saw already. All of them want to learn how to play the drums. You will find that not just the boys, but the girls as well.
And according to District Superintendent for Grand Bahama, Bimini and the Keys, Manisa Pratt, the cultural immersion doesn't stop there.
Also, we will be bringing in persons, who are, I would say, the Rake and Scrape gurus to come in and actually teach the children, have those workshops. And, schools will decide how they will showcase it. And we will be on hand to see how these activities are being carried out.
Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Ginger Moxie, also throwing her support behind the initiative, noting that cultural preservation must remain a priority within the nation's schools.
We want to ensure that our young people appreciate Rake and Scrape. It's in the schools now, and we just want to make sure that, for generations to come, Rake and Scrape remain strong.
Officials say the initiative was a collaborative effort with multiple ministries on hand to support the movement to preserve and promote Bahamian heritage. Organizers adding that activities will continue throughout the month, giving students and the wider public even more opportunities to experience the rich sounds of Rake and Scrape. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Raven Davis.
Well, in other news, the School of Seers and Dream Interpretations is hosting its third annual conference March 19th through 21st at the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce. Organizer Peter Spencer says this event aims to provide a platform for seers and dreamers to come together and learn the art of deciphering dreams.
We're going to just teach, but we're also going to take questions and answer. We're going to break the dream down. We're going to, show you how to find out the dream characters, the dream puns, the dream keys, what is the main topic behind the dream, and how to, to find out where and when the dream came from, because a lot of times we're dreaming from the past. 30 dreams instead of one, and you can't remember all. So the enemy has a way of polluting the dream, but God wants to show us how to, to decipher it, to learn from it, and to actually use dreams to be a blessing and to save your community, to save your life, and also to save your promotion.
The conference will feature well-sought-after speakers to help individuals tap into their subconscious and unlock their full potential.
We can have other ministers as well, but I'm going to be doing the first day or two, and we have one or two ministers coming in to speak. All right, we might have more, but we're going to see how that goes. But it's going to be a surprise. We want to just have everybody, come in and see what God's about to do.
Our Facebook friend of the night is Francesca Stewart. Happy birthday, Franny. We hope that you enjoyed your day, and we know that you are going to enjoy it this weekend. And that is a look at stories making news. Shane, what's happening in sports?
Listen, the Carifta trials of this weekend, I think we got about 40 athletes going up, and that's the most in recent memory.
All right, that's coming your way next. Be sure to stay tuned. We'll be right back after this break.
See news in the making? Call us at 352-9713 or 359-5167, or you can email us at zns3news@gmail.com.
Journey to a serene oasis. Relax. Rejuvenate. Renew. Welcome to Renew Day Spa. For appointments, call 352-RENU.
Tired of the endless bank fees and long lines? The Grand Bahama Cooperative Credit Union is the solution to making your money work for you by providing you with free financial counseling, higher interest on savings plans, and lower interest rates on loans. Savings products such as Christmas and vacation clubs, fixed deposits, and annuity savings allow our members to prepare for today and tomorrow without all of the hassle. With GBCCU 352-4139.
Save more drugs, from cosmetics to prosthetics. What you need for your family, the brands you're looking for, the quality you expect, vitamins you need, and prescriptions you came for. Feel the love. Save more at Save More Drugs.
Let's keep it clean. Put it in the trash, my guy. Not on the ground, not on the beach, not in the bush, not in the street. No, yeah. Just put it in the trash, my guy. Not on the ground, not on the beach, not in the bush, not on the streets. Just put it in the trash, my guy.
Bombastic side eye. Criminal offensive side eye.
Put it in the trash. Put it in the trash. That's it, that's it. Put it in the trash. Just put it in the trash. That's it, that's it. Just put it in the trash, my guy. Not on the ground, not on the beach, not in the bush, not in the street. Just put it in the trash, my guy. Yeah. Just put it in the trash, my guy. Yeah. We just gotta keep Grand Bahama clean.
Welcome to the ZNS Total Sports Cave, everyone. I'm Shane Stubbs, hosted by Youth Flag Football Grand Bahama. The Grand Bahama Extreme Youth Flag Football Tournament goes down this weekend over at the Grand Bahama Sports Complex.
We've been running a free program for kids between the ages of 8 and 15 for the last few months. So this is going to give us the opportunity to see how well they would have been able to learn and apply what they have learned. We have kids that come down from 8 Mile Rock, from out of the Freeport vicinity as well. We have about 186 kids registered, and we average about 50 to 60 kids every Saturday.
With reps from Miami Extreme Youth Football League set to be in attendance, teams out of Nassau and Grand Bahama will compete in 9 and under, 11 and under, 13 and under, and co-ed action. Admission is free, so you don't want to miss it. The 2026 Carifta Track and Field Trials goes down this Friday, March 20th to the 22nd, over in the nation's capital at the old Thomas A. Robinson Stadium. Grand Bahama so far has about 10 pre-qualifiers, including the likes of Keatra Thomas, Avante Lockmore, and Zion Bradford, just to name a few. But this weekend is the time to show and prove. Over 40 athletes will be traveling with hopes of solidifying their spots on this year's team. Here's GB3A's president, Emmett Higgins, on how big this weekend is going to be.
Being a pre-qualifier does not automatically place you on the team. First, you must come to the trials, compete at the trials, and be in the top 2 place finishers in order to secure your spot on this year's team. You know, with the success of Team Bahamas last year, you know, we've been given a mandate to build upon what the accomplishments were last year. 2025 was very, very successful. We've got a number of those athletes returning to be a part of Team Bahamas. So the expectations is great.
The games are all set for April 4th to the 6th at the Karani James Stadium down in the Spice capital of Grenada. And lastly, over in the Grand Bahama Basketball Association playoffs, the New Era Gym Rats advanced to the next round of play. They swept the Celebration Key Cruisers 2-0 following a 102-78 win in Game 2. Edreal Martinborough finished with a game-high 33 points to go with 6 boards and 8 dimes. Meanwhile, the Connect Shipping Jets and Avon Rock Legends needed overtime, but the Jets would not be grounded in this one. Behind 35 points, including 9 threes on the night from DeJohn Wildgoose, the Jets finished off their series sweep with a 99-95 victory. Travis Wildgoose added 29 points of his own. And the Pizza Hut Lions asserted dominance against the Fugees to take a 1-0 series lead. 80-58 was your final score at the buzzer. Ahmad Pratt totaled 18 in the W. Theodore Grant led the Fugees with 16 in the loss. And that's your sports fix this evening, everyone. Your local forecast is next. I'm Shane Stubbs. Catch you all on The Rebound.
Tonight's weather forecast is brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
'Cause it's so beautiful.
Save more drugs. We got you. From cosmetics to prosthetics, what you need for your family, the brands you're looking for, the quality you expect, the prices you need and deserve. Feel the love. Save more at Save More Drugs.
Hi, I'm Dr. Janae Lowe, and this is Sunrise Smiles. Welcome. We are located at the Lucan Shopping Center here in Freeport, Grand Bahama. We offer an array of dental services, and we are reminding you that it is important to see your dental professional every 6 months, whether it be for a cleaning or restorative services. We're here to help. Here at Sunrise Smiles, we can help you out with cleanings, restorations, and much, much more. We see children, adults, and senior patients. You can reach us by our website, our social media handles, as well as phone call.
Hey there, welcome back to Health Bites. If you're over 50 and you're trying to live to 100 plus, you need these 4 supplements. Beet powder is great for energy and endurance, great for blood flow, and it's even great for your immune system. Turmeric is great to help reduce joint pain. It helps improve brain health, and it also helps to reduce inflammation. Omega-3s also help with brain health, heart health, and they can even help to improve your cholesterol. Black seed oil helps to boost immunity, helps to lower blood pressure, blood sugar, and it helps with overall health and wellness. If you're interested in any of the products in this video, or you just want some more information, stop by your nearest Fitness Connection location or shop online at shopfitnessconnection.com.
Your #1 team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
Well, that is going to do it for us here in the North. I'm Ramiko Knowles.
Shane Stubbs.
Thanks so much for watching. Here's a live look at the Bahamas Tonight, coming your way next.
In a world where our health defines our future and the Caribbean stands on the front lines of climate change, rising NCDs and global challenges, knowledge becomes our greatest defense. Caribbean Medical TV is your guide on the journey to wellness and insight, featuring our region's own doctors, nurses, climate specialists and medical institutions. From physical well-being to the emotional and mental balance we all deserve. Caribbean Medical TV empowers you because building a healthier future isn't just a regional goal, it's a global responsibility. In the Caribbean, vitality isn't just a goal, it's a way of living. Connect with the region through knowledge, hope, and the power of Caribbean resilience on Caribbean Medical TV, where awareness becomes power. Join the conversation, join the movement. Be viewing Season 4 of Caribbean Medical TV right here on this station.
Coming up in the Bahamas Tonight, the integrity and safety of the passport office fiercely defended following the tabling of a partial list of suspected passport fraud. Tune in to hear where authorities are with that investigation. Plus, a public domain poll sizes up how the upcoming general election will play out. But what does the two political giants make of the results? And regional leaders to gather here in the capital to tackle critical issues in hopes of finding innovative solutions. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast. A passport controversy heats up with claims, counterclaims, and a firm response from officials. The chief passport officer breaking his silence at the office of the Prime Minister's weekly press briefing, insisting the system is not compromised, but strong. How Leah Cooper breaks it all down.
A passport controversy sparking political heat and a firm response from the country's top passport official. The backdrop, a clash in Parliament. Opposition leader Michael Pintard claiming a list of 74 people under investigation for fraudulent passports and alleging that 8 of those passports appear in the voters' register. The Prime Minister firing back, saying evidence should be sent to the Parliamentary Commissioner, not presented without full context. Chief Passport Officer Nicholas Simonet responding, saying the system isn't failing.
The existence of these cases should not be interpreted as a failure of the system. Rather, it demonstrates that the strengthening review process now in place are successfully identifying the irregularities and ensuring that the suspected fraud is referred to the appropriate authorities for investigation and possible prosecution.
Officials discovered that a 2019 policy had been allowing passport renewals with limited documents, essentially reducing the level of scrutiny. The requirements only a completed application form, an existing electronic passport, a photo, and an NIB smart card. That policy has now been scrapped for a much tighter system. New passport applications now go through 8 layers of review, renewals at least 6, including full document verification and identity checks. And in light of this, Simonet says 98 cases of suspected fraud have been identified and referred to police for investigation.
Each referral includes a police report, a sworn statement outlining the findings of the office, and a detailed internal audit document that possesses history within the passport system. These measures are taken to ensure transparency.
Some of those cases, he says, raises serious red flags, including questions over fraudulent marriage documents used to claim citizenship, fake naturalization certificates, and cases where documents slipped through years ago but are now being caught under the new system.
The integrity of the Bahamian passport must always take precedence over institutional comfort. Where wrongdoing is identified, individuals must be charged, held accountable, and face the full force of the law. Ensuring that bad actors are identified, charged, and removed is essential to protecting the credibility of the Passport Office and the national document it is entrusted to safeguard.
And with political tensions rising ahead of the next general election, officials are urging caution, warning that public speculation could interfere with ongoing investigations. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Leah Cooper.
Well, thanks, Leo. We can also tell you that National Security Minister, the Honorable Wayne Monroe, called a late press conference this afternoon to further refute the issue of alleged passport and other national identity documents. That news conference just wrapped up at the office of the Prime Minister, where Minister Monroe provided an update on several cases before the courts related to fraudulent passports. We'll have more on that in a later newscast. We can also tell you that the Parliamentary Registration Department, meantime, assuring voters that all those who should not be on the register will be removed, adding that this has already taken place in the case of some names brought to the department's attention, while others are being struck from the record. Well, the Free National Movement last night completing the ratification of its candidates, rounding out the process. Its candidates for Marcos City and Maikal. Party leader Michael Pintard, the incumbent MP for Marcos City, and newcomer James Leo Ferguson will contest the Maikal constituency seat. Now, enthusiastic party supporters filled the FNM's Mackey Street headquarters ahead of the party's official campaign launch set for this coming Saturday at the Bahamas Resorts Convention Center. Ferguson, who just retired after 30 years with the Royal Bahamas Police Force, has deep roots in the Maikal constituency. He was born in Betsy Bay, Mayaguana, and lived in Acklands for many years, even serving as the officer in charge there. He spoke to reporters about his plans for the far-flung Southern District.
But some of the issues that needs to be addressed is the fact that young persons do not get opportunities. We need our young people to get the opportunities they need so they can stay on the island. The population is dying. So we would want that persons who are the elderly taken care of, persons who are of my age, would actually say, okay, sustain a family and stay in my car.
FNL leader Pintard praised Ferguson's selection and paid tribute to his upbringing while also expressing confidence and gratitude about his own ratification.
We're excited. Leo is a wonderful candidate. We fully expect he'll be the next member of Parliament for Michael. He has a heart for the people. He's born in the constituency. He grew up in the constituency. He served as a veteran police officer in the constituency. And he's from incredible stock. Canetta and John Lee Ferguson, who have served throughout the country, but particularly in Michael. And so we're excited tonight. I'm happy once again to carry the banner for the people of Marco City. By extension, Grand Bahama and the rest of the Bahamas. I'm excited.
Still talking politics, Minister of Economic Affairs, Senator the Honorable Michael Alcides says the government has more to do and is taking nothing for granted. And this despite a recent public domain poll indicating that if an election were held today, 38% of 805 likely voters surveyed would support the PLP. The poll, commissioned by the PLP, further revealed that 18% would vote F&M, 12% COI, while 29% were undecided. It was also revealed that 44% of those surveyed viewed the PLP as best for the country, compared to 14% F&M, 11% COI, while 31% were undecided. On the question of which party can create opportunities for Bahamians, while 41% selected the PLP, the F&M and COI tied at 15%, while 29% were undecided.
We're encouraged by the poll, but what it says to us with a large number of undecided, that means we need to continue to work, to listen to the public, to continue in this time left to implement our policy, and we need to reach those voters who might be undecided and seek to convince them that the work we've done so far from 2021 and the plans that we have going forward justifies their faith in us, and so we want to move as many of those undecideds from the undecided column into the PLP column. We believe that we have done a lot of good work. We understand that a lot of work left to be done, and we're asking the Bahamian people to give us an opportunity to complete it.
Well, the results of that survey has the Free National Movement blatantly accusing the Progressive Liberal Party of putting out fake polls, charging that the only poll that really matters is on Election Day. In other news tonight, the Bahamas to play host to the Caribbean Development Bank's 56th annual meeting this summer. The June 1st through 5th event is the CDB's highest decision-making forum and will attract ministers of finance, governors, development partners, and private sector leaders. Officials sharing details today of the upcoming meeting of minds that will be held under the theme The Bahamas, where the Caribbean comes to forge its future. Also revealed the CDB's new 56th anniversary logo. CDB Chair, Minister of Economic Affairs, Senator the Honorable Michael Alcides says the forum provides a platform for regional leaders to strengthen cooperation and mobilize resources at a time when the Caribbean is navigating a rapidly evolving global environment shaped by economic uncertainty, climate change, and geopolitical tensions.
At the heart of the bank's 2026-2035 strategy are 5 key priorities: strengthening climate and disaster resilience, accelerating the transition to sustainable energy, promoting inclusive economic growth through private sector development, investing in human capital and opportunities for youth, and reinforcing strong governance and institutional capacity across the region. Ladies and gentlemen, these priorities are deeply interconnected. Investments in resilient infrastructure, disaster risk financing, education, and entrepreneurship will protect our economies from climate shocks while creating new opportunities for our people.
The CDB's President Daniel Bast acknowledging that the region has the potential to be global leaders when it comes to climate action. He says the bank has increased its ability to finance green climate fund projects from $50 million to $250 million. Bast also previewed an upcoming project slated for the Bahamas.
We are excited about one such project with the government of Bahamas that will be coming to our June board, which is going to be held here, which is the Water Resilience Project, which our teams work tirelessly with the Ministries of Finance. I have to recognize the Financial Secretary here. And this Water Resilience Project, in total, will be about $64 million, but $38 million, if I'm not mistaken, $38 million of that is grant resources. That is grant resources coming to the Bahamas to build resilience in the water sector.
Coming up, the National Health Strategy 2026 through 2030 tabled in Parliament. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. There's more news in a moment.
Step into a life of luxury and convenience with the Commonwealth Bank Platinum Card. From earning premium cashback rewards on every dollar spent to enjoying comprehensive travel insurance, shop with confidence, knowing your purchases are protected. Our Platinum Concierge service turns your requests into reality, wherever life takes you. Let the Commonwealth Bank Platinum Card be your passport to exceptional experiences. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
John, I just found out that KFC has an irresistible promo.
Crunch into the juicy flavor of the new KFC Wrap Star, a classic made modern that's crunchy, melty, and grilled to perfection for all the journeys of your day. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Throughout our lifetime, we must all make decisions. No matter how we choose, the right one just needs to be made. Like having J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers as your insurance partner. We've been serving the Bahamas for over 100 years. Whether you need home, motor, marine, or commercial insurance, make the right decision. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance, peace of mind.
Introducing the Easy Renew portal, brought to you by the National Insurance Board. Renewing your national insurance card has never been easier.
I can renew our cards right from the comfort of our home.
And it's so convenient.
Wow.
Whether you're at work or studying hard at the library, even when you're on the go or enjoying retirement.
This is so easy.
Day or night, the Easy Renew portal is there for you. Easy Renew portal. Convenience at your fingertips.
Well, you're looking at an aerial shot of John Watling's distillery located at the historic Buena Vista Estate, and that shot courtesy of drone pilot Shane Gibson. Thanks, Shane. Welcome back. We have a better idea of what's in the Bahamas National Health Strategy 2026-2030 now that Health and Wellness Minister, the Honourable Dr. Michael Darville, has tabled the document in Parliament. The evidence-based plan lays out the national roadmap for the health and well-being of Bahamians for the next 4 years. The plan also focuses on 8 strategic pillars that include strengthening the healthcare system through holistic action, prevention, early detection, and financing.
Recognizing the realities of our archipelagic geography and climate vulnerability, this strategy deliberately weighs climate resilience and health throughout its 8 pillars. Madam Speaker, the core of this strategy is to shift the mindset of both healthcare workers and our people. We are shifting from programs and policies that were self-centered to systems that mainly treated illnesses to one that actively protects health by way of health promotion, prevention, and early detection.
Dr. Darville further noting that access to proper health care is also embedded in the National Health Strategy.
We must work closely with government agencies to ensure that our citizens access equal quality healthcare services from Inagua all the way to Grand Key. It acknowledges that the quality of healthcare a citizen receives must never depend on where they live in our archipelagic nation.
A small army of civic and community representatives have been armed with tools to assist those battling depression and suicidal thoughts. The group of more than 150 participants took took part in a two-day training, an initiative spearheaded by the Urban Renewal Authority, along with the Church of God of Prophecy, the Royal Bahamas Police Force, and the Bahamas Christian Council. Patron for the Urban Renewal Authority, spouse of the Prime Minister, Anne-Marie Davis, says the initiative will continue to support the national drive to assist members of the community who need support.
All you community leaders who have given your time to learn, the members of the community you all are, all of you who are gathered here today, I thank you for being here and for having completed this workshop and for taking the stand that you have against mental health illness. So this is such an important and crucial topic. Your presence here signals a willingness to confront difficult conversations, to gain understanding, and to stand in the gap for those who may be struggling.
Housing and Urban Renewal Minister, the Honourable Keith Bell, applauded the effort as a direct response to a community challenge with a tangible and immediate resolution.
This is very substantial in light of the fact that we are seeing young persons, we are seeing persons take their lives or attempting to take their lives. God is the author of all life. He gives it and only Him takes it away. And we need to ensure that not just us as Urban Renewal, but us as a people reach down to those who need help, whether they are suffering from mental challenges or any other reason. We need to ensure that we do our part in preventing them from taking their lives. So we have persons from every law enforcement agency, the police, defense, customs, immigration. We've had them from the social services, all of the agencies of government, and also non-governmental organizations, of course, the church. And this is what partnership is all about.
Well, quite a scare for 19 Pineapple Air passengers, all safely on the ground tonight after one of the airline's beach aircraft landing gear experienced issues at Governor's Harbor Airport in Eleuthera. The incident led to the aircraft becoming disabled on the runway after touchdown. The Aircraft Accident Investigation Authority confirming no injuries were reported. An active investigation is underway. In related news, a collaborative review of infrastructural fees, the impact of escalating operating costs, the Family Island Renaissance, and safety concerns, some of the issues discussed in the local aviation sector. The meeting, facilitated by Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, the Honourable Chester Cooper, members of the Bahamas Airline Owners and Pilots Association, and key industry stakeholders. Director of Aviation, Dr. Kenneth Romer, says the meeting gave members an opportunity to air their concerns.
Our domestic airline owners and pilots deserve a seat around the table where their voices really could be amplified, their concerns addressed, their value appreciated, and of course our commitment to them as domestic operators really affirmed. This again supports our National Aviation Strategic Plan, where we have been intentional about how we collaborate, communicate, and partner again with our local and our international stakeholders.
Well, in this next report, our Desmond Saunders chats with Chair of the National Junkanoo Committee to discuss what the newly passed legislation would mean for the future of the country's premier cultural expression.
Chairman of the National Junkanoo Committee, Andrew Pender, applauding the passage of the 2026 Junkanoo Authority Bill. The Junkanoo leader believes the legislation marks a turning point for the festival's future.
This is a major leap forward in the organizational structure, as a statutory body would be in place to permanently manage Junkanoo, in that now it is embedded in law and the financial support would come for it.
The National Junkanoo Authority Bill creates a permanent statutory body to oversee and support Junkanoo, providing governance, funding, intellectual property protection, and management for the cultural industry. The NJC leader also sees the landmark legislation as a big win for artisans and musicians who, despite national recognition, have not received the level of respect or financial compensation their work truly deserves.
The bill also creates opportunities for Junkanooers, business persons, stakeholders alike, as well as the fact that, in copyright infringement, there are a lot of intrinsic benefits that Junkanooers themselves will benefit from through the passage of this bill. The government, has shown its commitment to our cultural expression, and our Minister Mario Boleg, his fortitude to advance the bill forward.
And while the recent bill has sparked much debate and criticism from some Junkanooers and those in the wider cultural community, Chairman Pinder is calling for unity and a renewed commitment from all stakeholders to work together to preserve the authenticity and spirit of the cultural tradition.
Now that it's passed, Junkanooers are welcome to come to the table. It's our love. It's something that, it's just putting structure to it, that Junkanoo can now be sustained. It's a matter when, now that it's all said and done, the planning, like I said, putting structure in place to ensure that not just in New Providence, the two parades in New Providence, but throughout the archipelago, Junkanoo can grow into an industry. And persons that will see that, they'll understand that it's about growing what we call our own.
Desmond Saunders, the Bahamas Tonight.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Folk Call Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
Win up to $1 million this March Madness. One promotional point enters you to win $500K in our Madness Bracket Challenge. And jump into our free-to-play Big Hoops Pick'em Challenge for a shot at $250,000. Plus our Perfect 16 Pick'em for a shot at $1,000 cash. Make picks starting Sunday, March 15th. Entries close Thursday at noon. It's pure madness at islandluck.com/sports. Details on site.
Must be 18 and over. Island Luck reminds you that it's only a game, so please game responsibly.
The Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training advises the public that the registration process of the 2026-2027 school year for public school students has commenced. Parents are urged to register their children before the deadline of the 31st of March, 2026. Here's what you'll need: your child's proof of identity, immunization card, their most recent transcript or report card, parents or guardians' proof of identity. Register before the deadline to ensure a seamless transition into the new school year. Don't delay. Register today.
Are you self-employed or have a small business that's looking for a faster, easier way to submit your C10 statements and pay NIB contributions? Sign up for the NIB C10 Easy Submit and Pay mobile app today. It's quick, secure, and takes just 5 simple steps. You will need a completed R1 business registration form and 2 forms of ID, a passport, voter's card, NIB card, or driver's license. Choose your role and enter your info, NI number, employer's NI number, name, and date of birth. Hit next. Enter your email, check your inbox for the code, then type it in to verify. Upload the R1 form and your 2 forms of ID and tap submit. Track your application anytime by tapping check status. Once approved, you'll get your confirmation and PIN by email within 24 to 72 hours. Return to the app, tap register now, set your login details and enter your final code. That's it. You're now ready to manage your NIB contributions anytime, anywhere. Self-employed persons, small business owners. Skip the line, save time. Download the NIB C10 Easy Submit and Pay mobile app today.
Bang ding. Ding bang ding. Ding ding dong. Bang bang bang. Ding bang ding. Ding bang ding. Ding ding dong. Bang bang bang. Ding bang ding. Ding bang ding. Ding bang ding. Ding ding dong.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station. Open the app, scan the pump's QR code, select your payment amount, and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
Well, it's about that time to check on in with Royston and Milena for a sneak peek of what's coming up in Access Now.
Oh, yes. Yes. Well, Makushla, we've got World Down Syndrome Day coming up on Saturday, so we've got the Bahamas Down Syndrome Association in the house. We're wearing our colorful socks in support.
Absolutely. You're going to have to wait to see them later on. They're colorful and both creative. And speaking of creatives, we're going to be talking about how influencers and content creators can potentially monetize their work in the future.
Maybe coming soon. That could be a big deal. We've got a lot of Bahamian influencers.
Oh, yeah. And the TikTok dancers.
Yeah. I was prepared to wear my socks tomorrow.
Ah.
Okay, well, we'll see them tomorrow then.
You jump slick on me.
Challenge accepted.
Trendsetters.
I can see that. That's the Bahamas Tonight. The National Report continues after this.
Back at Little Caesars and good. Our popular Chicago-style pizza is back for a limited time only. Enjoy this delicious, thick, buttery crust pizza that's packed with layers of cheese, meats, and veggies for just $18. That inclusive. Now available at all 5 of our locations. Little Caesars, Oakville, Carmichael Road, East Street, Pineapple Plaza, Charles Saunders Highway, and 1 East Plaza.
Pizza. Throughout our lifetime, we must all make decisions. No matter how we choose, the right one just needs to be made. Like having J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers as your insurance partner. We've been serving the Bahamas for over 100 years. Whether you need home, motor, marine, or commercial insurance, make the right decision. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance, peace of mind.
At We Buy and Sell, we help you upgrade your home the smart way, from solar panels and solar lights to strong doors, storm-ready windows, tiles, mirrors, vanities, faucets, and more. Everything you need is right here under one roof. Great quality products, great price, and fast, friendly service every day. Visit us on Robinson Road or send us a message on WhatsApp 242-636-8412 or shop anytime at wbusbahamas.com. We buy you sell. Upgrade your home today.
Like, what are you grabbing all these pizzas, play?
Hey, Marcos, right? We have a special on all the large one-topping pizzas, right?
Pineapple.
All.
Barbecue.
All. Hey, that included, but
I need the $10 special plate. How many would you like? 20 in it. Thank you so much, man. $10, that's it. The Marcos got that deal, boy.
Well, that does it for the National Report, but stay close. The Bahamas Tonight continues with Access Now.
This Easter weekend, history comes back home. Keep the Bible Live Music Group, Bahamas and the Rock Sound Homecoming Committee proudly presents Return of the Boatman Show. In Rock Sound in Luther, April 3rd and 4th, 2 nights, 1 stage. One unforgettable homecoming featuring KB, Mama D, Sweet Emily, Shine 242, Johnny K, Fran Shaw, Sherrod Taylor, Ira, Rico Bahama, all backed by the Pond Band and hosted by DJ Rap. With music from Luther's and NASA's top DJ. High energy all night. This Easter weekend culture, music, and people unite. For the biggest homecoming in the 242. Powered by ESC Distributors, The Beauty Shack, The Plug, Missouri, and your favorite radio station. April 3rd and 4th, the Boatman Show is back at the Rock Sound Homecoming site in Luther. We outside.
Get to glow, keeping you in the know, keeping you in the know. God, it's good enough to eat, and it's good to grow. It's good enough to eat, and it's good to grow.
Just to give you a detailed update on the status of the Golden Young project. Here it is, the house is actually 95% completed. Birds are expected in April to enter this house. So what you see in here is a climatical control house. This house is 40 feet by 370 feet long. This actually has the capacity to withstand a Cat 5 storm. The type of steel in here is well insulated, something called a C15 cellulose, but actually helps the internal temperature to maintain stable throughout the chicken's life. This house will be equipped with automatic feeders, automatic drinkers. It'll have a ventilation systems, consist of fans, and a lighting program. So the light actually helps with the photo stimulation for the birds to lay. So the control room is actually located in the center of the house on the right-hand side. And the control room actually have sensors, which tells you the ambient temperature, tells you the wind speed, tells you what's going on inside the chicken house, so that you'll know that the birds are comfortable at all times. Okay, this room, what you're looking at, is called an egg processing facility. This building is equipped with a state-of-the-art watching room. The purpose of that room is for quality assurance, to make sure that you can actually see what's going on the floor. This section here is where we have refrigeration, okay? Eggs from the chicken houses will enter here. They'll go on to
the egg grading machine for the process. That's going to run at 10,800 an hour, which is plenty of capacity for the farms that are being built here at this stage. That will do all the washing, sanitizing, grading, and the machine's actually a digital grader, which you can sort the weights into 5 categories: small, medium, large, extra large, and jumbo.
Okay, so this whole project, again, the Golden Yoke project, will consist of 8 houses the same size in New Providence. And then you'll have 34 houses throughout the archipelago of the Bahamas. So these houses actually, presently right now, we import 27.2 million eggs per year. Provided all these houses are up in production, also the family island part, we will actually see ourselves to self-sufficiency in egg production.
Bahamian content creators could be one step closer to monetizing their social media platforms. We've got all the details straight ahead.
Plus, a class of new inspectors at the National Insurance Board graduate. Those details also coming up.
Also, the Tourism Development Corporation making it easier to do business in the industry. You want to stay close for that one.
And of course, we've got your latest coming up in sports.
Bahamas Tonight Access Now starts now.
Good evening on this Friday, Junior. I'm Royston Jones.
And I'm Marlena Leonard. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight Access Now.
Welcome indeed. I know we might be getting a bit ahead of ourselves since it's not quite Friday yet, but tomorrow isn't just Entertainment Friday. March 20th is also recognized as International Day of Happiness.
That's right. It was started in 2012 by the United Nations in an effort to highlight happiness and well-being as important universal goals for all. And fun fact, tomorrow is also the spring equinox. It's the first official day of spring. There's a reason to be happy, right?
Absolutely. So you have your homework set for tomorrow. Seek happiness, spread happiness, and maybe even excuse for a little happy hour. You decide. And also bear this in mind. Sometimes the problem isn't the problem. Sometimes the problem is your approach to the problem.
Yeah,
Jack Sparrow, Pirates of the Caribbean. Savvy. With that said, let's dive right into the news. A major shift could be coming to how Bahamians earn income, this time in the digital space. The Prime Minister is set to meet with social media influencers and content creators as the government explores bringing social media monetization to the Bahamas. It's a move that could open new economic opportunities across the country. Altavis Munnings has the details tonight.
Right now, monetization tools on major social media platforms remain largely unavailable across the Caribbean, and that includes the Bahamas. It limits how creators earn from their content. But globally, the numbers tell a powerful story. TikTok now has more than 1 billion users, Facebook over 3 billion, and Instagram more than 2 billion users worldwide, creating a massive digital marketplace where content translates into income. For Bahamian creators, monetization could mean earning directly from videos, brand partnerships, advertising revenue, and subscriptions, turning creativity into a sustainable income stream. And this is what Prime Minister the Honourable Philip Davis wants to capitalize on when he meets with Bahamian influencers and content creators on Sunday, March 29th at the Bahama Resort.
The Prime Minister is committed to ensuring that Bahamians who are influencers, who are on TikTok, who are on Instagram, who are on Twitter, or any platform, have a pathway to getting paid for what they do. And next week, Sunday, that is the invitation by the Prime Minister to invite young and old persons to our platforms to discover how we could solve the issue of monetization and have our partnerships from our global partners who will be attending that conference and providing information.
The government believes this initiative is all about positioning the country to be among the first in the region to fully embrace the global creator economy. Now, officials say expanding into this space could help diversify the country's economy, moving beyond traditional industries like tourism and financial services.
The policy directive that the Prime Minister has given is to speak directly to the companies. We are engaging with the companies through our partners. Some representatives will be engaged because of the time constraint virtually, but we'll have other persons who will be in country next week as well.
And with that meeting set, the conversation around monetization could mark a turning point for how Bahamians earn, create, and compete in the digital world. For Access Now, I'm Altaviz Munnings.
Thanks, Altaviz. Well, freshly trained and officially commissioned 23 new graduates are now inspectors at the National Insurance Board. Addressing the cohort, Minister of Immigration and National Insurance, the Honorable Alfred Sears, reminded them that their role extends far beyond routine enforcement, calling them to lead with integrity, fairness, and an unshakable sense of duty, with the responsibility being clear: uphold the system, protect its people, and conserve its strength for generations to come.
Today marks the beginning of an important chapter in your careers. You have been trained, you have been prepared, and now you are entrusted with a role that contributes directly to the stability and progress of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Carry out your duty with pride. Carry it with diligence, and carry it with a deep awareness that the work you do will help a person or a family.
Meanwhile, the Tourism Development Corporation is doing all it can to cater to the needs of businesses in the industry. TDC Executive Director and CEO Ian Ferguson says the body is on a mission to ensure anyone wanting to start or grow a tourism-related business isn't met with red tape that hinders them.
So we very recently mobilized our business, not just business development, but business services team. And a part of that is our corporate desk. And so in our corporate desk, which is essentially our first point of contact here at the Tourism Development Corporation, we encourage anyone that has a business idea. We aim to be that one-stop shop that makes it easy for you to establish and do business in the tourism space.
Ferguson says the TDC knows starting a business can be both intimidating and challenging at times. From reaching out to Inland Revenue and other government and private agencies, it can sometimes feel overwhelming and cause some to quit before they've even got started.
We want to be, and we are, that one-stop shop. You reach out to us through our website, through our telephone contacts, through any of our email addresses here at the corporation, and our job is to ensure that you get the support that you need, whether it's web development, whether it's business planning support, whether it is insurance, liability insurance, asset insurance, or accident insurance, any and everything that you need to be able to successfully do the thing that you are doing in the tourism space. We're ready to help.
If you have a tourism business you want to get off the ground or grow, you can reach out to the TDC corporate desk at 603-4854. And still to come, we get colorful for World Down Syndrome Day. The local association is in the house tonight to share how you can help raise awareness. And of course, Diane Dorset has your Access weather forecast, so stay close.
Deputy Prime Minister and a Member of Parliament for Exoma and Ragged Island constituency, the Honourable I. Chester Cooper, along with Education Minister, the Honourable Glenys Hannah Martin, Works Minister, the Honourable Clay Sweeting, and a team of officials recently visited Ragged Island. During the visit, officials were welcomed by Principal Alice Ramming and students during a Commonwealth Day assembly.
We wish to extend a warm welcome to all who are visiting here with us today as we celebrate Commonwealth Day under the theme Unlocking Opportunities Together for a Prosperous Commonwealth.
I am so happy
be able to brag that I came from the public school system. So I'm here to tell you the same way I've been able to succeed and become Deputy Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of Bahamas. You can do anything.
Minister Hannah Martin stressed the vital importance of equity within the Bahamian education system.
The song says, this land is my land, from Bahamas down to England, from Berry Island across to Mayport. This land is made for you and me. But in that chain is Rake and even though there are only 5 or 6 or 10, whatever the number is in this community, we have to ensure that we have equity as best we can.
Director Dominique McCartney-Russell echoed those sentiments.
Here at Ragged Island All-Age School, with our 5 students, we see the living proof of the ministry's unwavering commitment that every child in every class and every school must have access to quality education.
Jonalie McIntosh for Ed Talk.
Now is the time to spring into savings with the specials at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Kraft macaroni and cheese, 5.5 ounces, 89 cents. Mega Malt, 11.2 ounce can, 99 cents. Bone-in chicken breast, $1.99 per pound. Green cabbage, 99 cents per pound. Sweet cantaloupes, $2.99 each. The savings you are craving are on special at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
In Royston, it's Thursday, which means it's almost Friday, which means it's almost springtime. Yes, spring is in the air. The official start of spring begins tomorrow morning at 10:46 when the sun is directly over the equator, marking the spring equinox. Now let's get into your access weather forecast to see what will be shaping our weather to start this new season. Our satellite shows the cloud deck shifting southward over the central and southeast Bahamas, while skies are clearing across the northwest Bahamas. A good sign for those with plans this weekend. Now taking a look at your boating forecast in the northwest Bahamas tonight, winds will be north to northeast at 15 to 20 knots with seas at 4 to 6 feet. Therefore, small craft operators are advised to exercise caution, and we'll get a high tide at 9:07 this evening. For boaters in the central Bahamas, winds will be north to northeast at 10 to 15 knots with seas at 2 to 4 feet. And in the southeast Bahamas, same thing, but winds will be southwest to west. Tomorrow, for the northwest and central Bahamas, winds will be north to northeast at 12 to 18 knots with seas at 3 to 6 feet. We'll get a high tide at 9:25 in the morning, followed by a low tide at 3:37 that afternoon. For the southeast Bahamas, winds will be southwest to west at 10 to 15 knots with seas at 2 to 4 feet. And finally, on Saturday, in the northwest Bahamas, winds will be north to northeast at 10 to 15 knots, seas at 2 to 4 feet. A high tide at 10:09 that morning, followed by a low tide at 4:19 in the afternoon. In the central Bahamas, as that frontal boundary shifts, winds will be northerly at 15 to 20 knots with seas at 4 to 6 feet, and the small craft operators are advised once again to exercise caution. Same thing in the southeast Bahamas, northwest winds at 15 to 20 knots with seas at 4 to 6 feet. It's time now for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
With you, she can know. You have no clue that somebody loosening up all she screw. My friend, beware when she doing nails and hair, and she asks you for a dime. When you go away, she don't care if you overstay, 'cause when the dog on the cat will play. But don't you know that while you are looking for sugar, someone's gonna taste your honey? But don't you know that while you are looking for sugar, someone gonna taste your honey?
That was your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance, and that wraps up your Access Weather Forecast. Royston and Marlena.
Thanks, Diane. Well, in tonight's BTC Connection, the company shares a light on its star employees at the Star Awards. Let's take a look.
People of BTC is what make our organization great. So events like this
inspires the ones that were awarded to keep on pushing. And for the ones that were not awarded, it gives them something to aspire to.
I'm thankful and appreciative to those who recognize the work that we would have done. I'm winning this for the men that work along with me.
It's been a huge achievement to be one of the runner-ups. That shows that the company is moving the way it's supposed to move, because if you value employees, we do the work because we feel valued.
I am grateful for this moment. I'm grateful for the people around me, the teams around me, and that's everything.
Tonight was more than just an award ceremony. It was a reflection of who we are.
When we say someone is the best of the best, that statement carries weight and credibility. When performance rises, customer trust grows. And when trust grows, our business thrives.
As always, thanks to BTC. We'll see a lot more color this weekend as we celebrate World Down Syndrome Day. Here to chat more about what our local arm is doing to raise awareness and garner support are Betty Taylor and Sheena Etiel.
Thank you so much for joining us on Access Now tonight.
Thank you for having us.
Of course, good to have you.
Now, of course, can we just start out with what is World Down Syndrome Day and why is it so important?
World Down Syndrome Day is celebrated on March 21st. It's because the number 21 chromosome splits into 3. So it's the 3rd month, the 21st day, representing those persons with Down syndrome. And on that day, we use a sock. And the reason we use a sock is when they look at the chromosome under a microscope, it curves like the heel of a sock.
Ah, I've never heard that explanation.
Yes, so that is the reason we use a sock. And we use it as a fundraiser to help raise funds for our building funds.
Of course, and as we can see around us, we have a number of colorful socks with some familiar characters
Wearing
as well.
some of them.
And I've never been more proud to wear 2 different color socks representing SpongeBob and Patrick, as well as Marlene. I see ice creams on your socks.
Ice cream. Perfectly matching. You wore the clear shoes so you could see the whole sock today.
Absolutely. Now, of course, for anyone with Down syndrome, resources are always so important. I wanted to ask you, what are the resources like for people with Down syndrome?
Well, currently, there's, medical for sure is number one, because of a majority of our children are born with heart defects, and it's extremely expensive for most families to obtain the assistance needed. Some persons are fortunate, others are not, and it's usually between shortly after birth and up to like 3-4 years old. That's one. Language therapy, so speech therapy, another one, extremely expensive. So the resources for that lacks, apart from just the infrastructure that's lacking.
Right.
That's why we're also raising funds to obtain, a headquarters for now, so those services can be provided. Transportation is another one, which, is lacking, whereas we traffic back and forth to have those therapy sessions with the kids from birth also, as long as it's needed to help with their development. So those, I would say, are a lot more of the 3 major ones that's needed.
That's why fundraising is so important. Now, I want to get into your fundraising efforts this year, but first, we can't go any further without introducing us to who you brought with us this evening. So can you please?
So here, this is Daniel. He's Daniel Etiel, and this is Nathan Taylor.
Yeah, Nathan, pleasure to have you on the show.
Pleasure to have you on the show.
Yes.
And so when it comes to your fundraising this year, you mentioned the socks earlier, but can you tell us, how can someone get their hands on a pair of these socks? How do the socks really play into the resources you're able to share?
Well, right now we are running kind of low on socks.
It's a good sign.
Let's help them sell out.
They're selling out fast.
Yes. If we have any left, on Saturday we would be doing a pop-up at Lowe's Harbor Bay or Lowe's Southwest from 11 to 2, so they can get their hands on a pair of socks.
Got you. Now I see the BDCA has a mascot, or at least not even one, but 2 mascots.
Yes.
I want to ask you if you can talk about the mascots of the association too. We have clad in shirts as well, which are great.
Yes. Emma
and Noah.
Emma and Noah.
Emma and Noah.
Noah.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome.
And we use these as our mascot because they have all the signs that a Down syndrome person would have: the slanted eyes, the flat nose bridge, the one line across their palms that shows Down syndrome. And if we can't take any of our persons with us, we use these to take out with us. And they are when we go to talk to children, you know, we have a dog.
Their attraction. Now, do you have any big events planned for World Down Syndrome Day this weekend? And where can people go if they want to participate?
Well, it's not a big event. It's more of a personal event
For our children.
for our persons with Down syndrome. We're going to come together and have lunch.
Beautiful.
That sounds great.
Yes.
I want to thank you, of course, for the ongoing work the association is doing. We wish you
Thank
you.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you.
And please ensure that you wear colorful socks. Find something as colorful as you can. And wear them
Or just
tomorrow
two different
over the
colored
weekend.
socks.
Right,
To
to
mismatch
mismatch
Figure
it.
something out.
Yes.
And wear your gunning pants so they
show
can
off the colors. Yeah. So
Your Access Now Total Sports Report is up next.
You already started. You turned your passion into income. Time to level up. The Tourism Development Corporation's calling entrepreneurs ages 18 to 35 to enter the Blue, Orange, and Green Economy Pitch Competition on March 30th. If you're building something connected to tourism, this is your opportunity. This is your chance. Visit tdcbahamas.com to learn more about the different economies, program eligibility, and apply by March 23rd.
Try believing all this power in your frequency. All these doubts may have it shaking, but what's learned was never needless. Just breathe it. Just breathe it.
Born in Roma fragrances and the new Born in Roma Green Stravaganza, Valentino.
Available at Lurix Duty Free, Bay and Parliament, Old Fort Bay, Marathon Mall and Palmdale.
Some burgers are simple. The Barbecue Crispy King, this one goes all in. Smoky barbecue sauce, crispy bacon, flame grilled beef, stacked high flavor in every bite. In Nassau, we don't do small, and we definitely don't do boring. And when morning hits, the Breakfast Barbecue Crispy King has that bam to start the day. Burger King Nassau. Triple down on big flavor.
Imagine putting $25 gas in your car, scanning the QR code, and winning a whole cruise and so much more. Well, that could be you with the New Year, New Things promotion happening right now at Rubis. From now until March 27, spend $25 or more in fuel and win one of our amazing prizes, such as $500 worth of Rubis gift cards, Fidelity prepaid Visa cards, BPL vouchers, a 3-night stay at the Margaritaville Hotel, a PS5, and we'll be sending a lucky person on a cruise. I can't wait to see what you win. It's New Year, New Things with Rubis. Don't forget, spend $25 or more, scan the QR code, fill out the form, upload your receipt, enter, and win. That's my boo. I ain't getting leave. I can see you all on the cruise. Don't leave me, don't leave me.
Welcome to your Thursday Sports Check, everyone. I'm Amishal Knowles, topping sports. Well, it's officially the beginning of March Madness with the round of 64 tipping off earlier this afternoon. But it was a trio of Bahamians taking center stage over in the National Invitational Tournament on Wednesday evening. Let's take a look at how they fared. Frederick King and his Murray State Racers, they saw their season come to an end with a 89-79 defeat to the Nevada Wolfpack at the Lawler Event Center in Reno, Nevada. The Racers were making their 9th appearance all-time. King finished with a game-high 15 points and 11 rebounds. Over in Albuquerque, Dayton Albury and the New Mexico men's basketball team began its run in the NIT with a win over Sam Houston. The final score, 107-83. The Lobos would advance to the second round of the tournament. The Bahamian Guard had 15 points and a career-high 6 steals. New Mexico will now host George Washington in the second round of the NIT on Sunday. That game will take place at 6 p.m. And Ramad Dean and the Tulsa Golden Hurricanes rallied from a second-half deficit to defeat the Stephen F. Austin Lumberjacks in overtime, 89-84 in their opening round matchup. The Golden Hurricanes, the top seed in the Tulsa region. Dean finishing with 10 points and 6 rebounds. They will now advance to the second round and will take on UNLV. Over in the NCAA men's tournament, Mikhail McLean, an assistant coach for the 7th-seeded University of Kentucky Wildcats, and Willis Mackey, a graduate assistant for the squad as well. They will take on the 10th-seeded Santa Clara Broncos on Friday in their opening round matchup. Of course, on the ladies' side, you'll let Matthew McCoon and Ole Miss Lady Rebels were selected as a number 5 seed, and they will take on the 12th-seeded Gonzaga Bulldogs in a first-round matchup on Friday in Minnesota. It's, of course, the 5th straight year that Ole Miss has made the NCAA tournament under Coach Yo. From the association, DeAndre Ayton with another strong performance for the red-hot LA Lakers as they would take down the Rockets last night, 124-116. Ayton finishing with 16 points, going 8 of 10 from the field, along with 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and 3 blocks in 34 minutes of game time. Ayton missing just 2 shots from the field, and even though he had to deal with a tough matchup against Alperen Sengun, he got the job done on both ends of the court. This was the 13th time he scored in double digits while recording multiple blocks as well. And to the pitch in soccer news, it was a key clash for the University of the Bahamas men's soccer team as they took on Dynamos FC in the Bahamas men's soccer league on Sunday. Dynamo scored in the first minute of the game with a shocker on UB's defense to take the 1-0 lead. UB was able to regain composure and kept focus. Korean got an aerial pass from Klerczynski-Klerjust to beat the keeper to score in the 13th minute for the equalizer. The game was deadlocked at 1 at the half, as expected, with the 2 top teams in the lead. The 73rd minute, Klerjust beating his defender and crossing the ball across the face of the goal as Neom Johnson got the go-ahead goal to put UB up 2-1, and that would be the final score.
It's very important because this was a tough game, probably one of the hardest games of the season, so we had to put in the fight, and this gives us momentum and going into our next game, so it's really good that I'm capable to be the striker for this team, and it shows that I can step up in big games, so it's really important that we get these 3 points.
And that's been a look at your sports on this Thursday. I'm Amajal Knowles signing out until tomorrow.
Solomon's, we don't just believe in great brands. We believe in creating unforgettable memories and celebrating everyday living with you and your family. Every aisle is filled with all you need. A great value with variety and a selection of all your favorite groceries and products. Saving you time and keeping you on a budget. Great food changes everything. Shop at your local Solomon's for food, for family, for you.
Behind every strong economy is a bold entrepreneur, and we're here to support them, island by island. On Ground Bahama, we've helped 486 entrepreneurs turn their dreams into thriving businesses. Through over $14.4 million in approved funding, the SBDC is strengthening Grand Bahama's economy by investing in its leading sectors: food and beverage, tourism, and fishing. Every business we support strengthens the economy, starting with yours. SBDC Bahamas.
Come and visit us at Shop Smart, 'cause everything is here.
Yes, we have it all for you.
Toys, clothing, office supplies, appliances, custom cut blinds, bedding, drapes, and rugs. Come and visit us on Mackey Street, 2 blocks down from Wolf Road. Call us at 698-1052.
Everything is here.
And it's now time for Let's Talk Socials with Matea Stewart.
Hey everyone, welcome back to LTS. Now that the Oscars are over, you already know the real show begins after the awards, and that's the Vanity Fair Oscar Party. This year's event brought together Hollywood's biggest names all in one room, and honestly, it was giving fashion, chaos, and iconic moments. Now, I want to know which look or moment stood out to you most. Tell me down in the comments below. Have a great week.
No one does Let's Talk Socials like Matea, but that music reminded me like the flawless victory from Mortal Kombat, apart from the dresses being absolutely flawless as well. Meantime, check out this photo sent us by Ryan Smith featuring his extra large or humongous large pit bull. Her name is Ginger.
Yes, and what a cutie. Ryan says Ginger turns 2 years old next month. Oh my goodness,
There
look
she
at
is.
her.
Stunning eyes and
Oh
appropriately named Ginger.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with pit bulls.
Ryan, I got to come see her, man.
So sweet.
And this is your reminder that you too can be featured on Access Now by sending us your favorite moments from your wins to your pets and even your grandparents doing cool things like TikTok, all of it.
Especially the pets. Yes, email those photos and videos to btaccessnow@gmail.com. And that does it for Access Now for tonight. But stay tuned for the rundown on leadership with Ahmad Rashad Thompson. Good night, everybody.
At Bahama Boulevard, I'm Sean Innes. This is ZNS.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, leaders from all generations, good evening and welcome to the Rundown on Leadership. I'm your host, Ahmad Rashad Thompson, and I'm looking forward to running it down with you tonight. As you know, this is the place you come to be empowered, enlightened, and equipped to lead better every week. Our goal is straightforward yet profound. We strive to move the leadership conversation forward at local, regional, and global levels, enabling leaders around the world to reach their fullest potential. As always, we begin with sincere gratitude. Thank you for allowing us into your homes week after week. Your loyal support and engagement continue to encourage us and remind us why these conversations are so very important. We know you could be anywhere on a Thursday evening, but week after week you choose to run it down with us, and we are grateful. Tonight, I'd like to begin with a very simple question. Not about your title, not about your performance, not even about your success, but about you. How y'all doing, man? How things? Everything all right? I know that life has been lifing recently, and things have been things and recently, and people have been peopling recently, man. I know that things are not going all the way you would want them to go, right? And leadership has a way of teaching us how to show up for someone else, for everybody else, while quietly disconnecting us from ourselves. We learn how to push through, how to deliver, how to carry, and over time, we start calling that resilience. But is it really resilience, though? Or is it simply survival with a smile? Because true resilience is not just about how much you can endure. It's about how well you can remain whole while you endure. You've heard of IQ, your intelligent quotient. You've heard about EQ, your emotional intelligence. But tonight I want to introduce you to something else, your RQ, your resilience quotient. How do you respond when life doesn't go according to plan? How do you bounce back when the unspeakable happens, when the loss is real, when the failure is public, when the disappointment cuts deeper than expected? What does resilience look like then? Because anyone can lead when things are working. Anyone can show up when the path is clear. But leadership reveals itself in disruption, in uncertainty, in moments where you have to decide, will I break? Will I pretend? Or will I rebuild with intention? Because real resilience is not automatic. It is not accidental. It's developed. It's built in the quiet decisions you make when no one is applauding you. It's built in the moments where you choose to confront what's hard instead of avoiding it. It's built when you decide that what happened to you will not define how you lead moving forward. And for many leaders, especially those carrying significant responsibility, that kind of resilience is not taught. It's discovered, often in moments of pressure, transition, and truth. The truth is, for many leaders, resilience has been defined as endurance. Push through, hold it together, keep going no matter what it costs. But what if the decision is incomplete? What if resilience isn't just about surviving pressure? What if it's about having the awareness to pause? The courage to confront what's no longer working, and the discipline to reposition your life and leadership with intention. You see, some of the strongest people you know are also the most tired people you know. Not because they're weak, but because they've been strong for too long, in all the wrong ways. They've learned how to function, but not how to feel. They've learned how to lead others, but not how to check in with themselves. They've learned how to produce results, but not how to process the weight that comes with it. And over time, that kind of strength becomes performative and unsustainable. You show up, you deliver, you carry, and somewhere along the way, you stop asking yourself if the version of you doing all of that is still whole. Because the truth is, leadership has a way of rewarding what looks strong, even when it's slowly breaking you behind the scenes. It will applaud your output while ignoring your exhaustion. It will celebrate your consistency, but never question the cost. And if you're not careful, you can build a life and a leadership identity around surviving instead of truly living and leading well. So many leaders are walking around surviving and not thriving, believing that it's okay to feel like you're drowning in the name of leadership. But tonight, we challenge that idea, because resilience is not about pretending to be unbreakable. It's about becoming aware enough, honest enough, and bold enough to lead from a place of truth and vulnerability. Tonight, we're talking about resilience in leadership, and our guest tonight is the leader who has made that decision. She doesn't just talk about resilience, she's examined it. She's questioned it, and most importantly, she's redefined it. Running it down with me tonight is Miss Glennette Fowler. Glennette is a nationally recognized Bahamian entrepreneur with a leadership spanning logistics, maritime services, and construction. She has built one of the Bahamas' leading logistics project support companies, serving major national and international partners across maritime and infrastructure sectors. But more importantly, she demonstrates leadership that is grounded in innovation, operational excellence, authenticity, and resilience. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you or someone you know has been walking around carrying the weight of trying to be all things to all people and feeling the pressure of leadership, text them right now and tell them to tune in, because we are about to run it down. This is the Rundown on Leadership, ladies and gentlemen, and your breakthrough is right after this break. Stay close.
Behind every strong economy is a bold entrepreneur, and we're here to support them, island by island. On Cat Island, we've helped 17 entrepreneurs turn their dreams into thriving businesses. Through over $360,000 in approved funding, the SBDC is strengthening Cat Island's economy by investing in its leading sectors: agriculture, fuel, and fishing. No matter the island, every business we support strengthens the economy, starting with yours. SBDC Bahamas.
We'll lead off with this report. This one is a good one to lead off with for Sunday.
Your weekend news just got better. Exciting features, good vibes. It's all about the feeling.
Hey, I'm Raven, and your Sundays never felt so good. Tune into Northern Service Vibes, where culture meets conversation, every Sunday at 6:30 p.m. only on the ZNS Network.
Welcome back, everyone. If you're just joining us tonight, my guest is Glennette Fowler, founder and president of Falco Maritime and Project Services. Glennette, welcome to the show, and thank you so much for coming to join us tonight.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here to have this conversation.
Yes, yes, yes. Glennette, you are someone I believe we can look to and to learn from what true resilience really is in leadership, in business, in general life, right? What it really means, your authenticity, your bravery, your radical honesty, I call it, and vulnerability about your journey continues to inspire thousands around the world and in our country specifically. And I believe we need more leaders like you who honor adversity for what it really is, a teacher, right? So to get our conversation started tonight, Glennette, tell us, who is Glennette Fowler and how do you define true resilience?
Well, I'm Glennette Fowler. I'm just the girl from Pine Ridge in Grand Bahama. I've had a very normal Bahamian upbringing. My parents were blue collar, and my dad was a blue collar worker. He worked in Grand Bahama Power for a very long time, his entire career.
Wow.
He's now retired, and my mother was a banker for a very long time. So I think I had a very normal childhood. However, you know, I always was the child that would push certain boundaries when it came to, well, let's see how this works and let's see how that works, or let me sell some candy at school, you know. And so I think I always had this itch or this bug that led me to be an entrepreneur right now. I just kind of denied it for the first part of my life because it wasn't sexy being an entrepreneur back then. It was not something people encouraged. People encourage you to go off to school or get a job and come back and contribute to society in a regular and normal way. And so I think for me, who I'm becoming, because you know it's a journey, is quite exciting, scary, nerve-wracking, all at the same time. So I'm just excited for that. And I want to put a point in that I also operate Heroic Concrete and concrete products. My Heroic team would be very mad at me for not making sure they got a shout out.
Absolutely.
So Falco and Heroic has been a journey for me over the last 10 years, and I'm really excited to see where we're going, and overcoming a lot of challenges has been a part of our story.
Yeah. In your journey, Glennette, in your life's journey, whether you were doing things well, starting something fresh, continuing the trajectory for your life, how do you define resilience? What does resilience mean to you?
I think for me, resilience is basically falling down, taking the bruising, but having the strength and the courage to get back up quickly. I think I've learned over the past several years that you just have to fail fast, and this is something a former mentor told me. You're not going to get it right all the time, and I think whenever you're aiming to do something great, it comes with so many obstacles and adversities. You have to have a mental fortitude that just allows you to push past the pain. And I think people take it as some type of coined phrase, but it is truly, you have to push through every day, make up your mind that you're going to fight a new battle. You don't know what's around the corner. And even with the best executed plan on paper, it just doesn't work out like that.
Absolutely. You talked about bouncing back quickly. The ability to get up from that fall, get up from that failure quickly. What is the danger, though, Glennette, in wallowing in that space for too long? Because not everybody has the ability to survey the issue and get back up and keep moving. Some people sit in the thing for too long. What is the danger in that?
I think you start to tie yourself too closely to the failure. You know, business is something that you do. It's not who you are. And I think that's something I've struggled with. You tie the business to you, so everything becomes a personal attack. Everything becomes very much a challenge for your your innate self. You become self-aware, tied to the business. So if the business does well, you're having these glory days, and when it doesn't, you have these drag down moments, and you just can't get out of bed. And so I had to learn that my identity is not the business. The business is just the thing that I've signed up to do.
That's good.
Yeah.
My identity is not the business, it's the thing I signed up to do.
Right.
It's part of what I do, not who I am.
Exactly.
Wow. So let's talk about identity for a moment then, because many people misidentify what they do as who they are.
Right.
Right? What you do is a part of your skill set, what you're able to contribute to. How have you been able to clearly define how have you been able to separate the two? To define who Glennette is and then define what Glennette can do.
Glennette has been lost for a very long time.
Talk about that.
I think too, you go into something, and I always tell people I'm an unintentional entrepreneur. I literally came in from a support standpoint, and it just kind of got out of control. And I always talk lately about this chaotic phase of business when you have this idea, the business starts to perform, and then when you look, it's growing, and you did not sign up for the level or the pace or the timing, and you find yourself just grappling at things, and that's why you have entrepreneurs who always look like they're pivoting in another direction, because you're still trying to find out what is that thing you do very well.
Right.
And for a long time, I just went through the motions and hoped it worked out. It seemed calculated, right? But it was not necessarily that. And so when you look at how you are as a person, I had to go through some very dark days and say, you know what, this is not your purpose. This thing happened, but it's not a part of who you are. It's a challenge you need to overcome. How are you going to get out of that? And you have to put yourself in a frame of mind that the negativity cannot outweigh the opportunity. And so I've had praying parents, and I remember one Saturday I was depressed. I even have a LinkedIn story about this mental depression I went through. And my mother, I don't know why, she called me this Saturday, and she just prayed, and I remember saying, Glennette, this is not who you are.
Wow.
This is just a part of what has happened. And I made my mind up that I needed to get support and help even in my business, and that's what I did.
When you think about the conversation with yourself,
yes,
because it's the one thing to have mommy praying and sister calling and brother checking in, but the conversation with yourself that says, listen, man, come up, let's come out of this. How hard is it to have the conversation, but then also not just to have it, but to listen to it and then act from it?
One thing I always tell people, we try to be these superheroes in business. We always have to look on point. We always have to sound on point. We always have to feel like we have it together. When people ask us how things going, they're going great.
Everything good, all is well, all is well.
You know, business good.
Yes.
The denial is real. And it's because we have been conditioned to not look like a failure.
Yes, ma'am.
It's cultural. It's trying to belong to a group, and people don't give you an easy ride. From the minute you sell someone, you have a business, you have all kind of money. So you have to portray this behavior that aligns with that, right? And I think if we start to, as business owners, business leaders, to have real dialogue surrounding what happens when something goes wrong, how do we come out of that? And that's what you're asking.
Yes.
I had to make up my mind that I was coming out of something. There's nothing, the prayer was there, the support was there, but your mental state has to shift.
Yes.
And you have to say, I am more than this. I can overcome this. Let me think through this. And that's what's going to happen. And it doesn't happen overnight. Yes, we talk about failing fast. But it's the transitionary steps you take following that which is going to turn, if that's the path, right?
Yes.
And I think we have to be okay. I've had businesses that failed. The idea didn't work out. But I had to move forward, you know. And if you just sit there and stay there, you'll have that concept of, you know, those persons who have those old stories. I remember when I used to do this and do that, and it's just a story, but it did not change your trajectory. Your legacy is not changing, and that's what we have to focus on.
That's a good point, because you can go through the thing, you can see the lesson, not necessarily learn from the lesson or apply the lesson, and then you end up not changing the behavior.
Correct.
How important is the behavioral change after the thing that you've been able to power through?
You have to hold yourself accountable, right? So change is what you call it.
Yeah.
We all have different paths, and I think sometimes we look at someone else's path and feel like, well, that's the path I need to follow. I think especially in a position as a founder, you have to first identify who you are and live with that. You can't be anyone else.
Come on.
You can't follow anyone else's lines. You can get encouragement, you could read a story, you could read a book, you could listen to a podcast, but ultimately you have to get up and get something done. And I think accountability is definitely what sometimes is missing, especially as leaders. If you don't have something to hold you accountable, some form of accountability, it's just not going to work out. And I can tell you, accountability is the most uncomfortable part of the journey.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially self-accountability. I'm a radical believer in radical personal accountability and radical personal responsibility. You can't blame me for where you find yourself today.
Right.
You may try as hard as you can, or if the government did, if she did that and he did that, what you can do for yourself.
Exactly.
Right? The Bible puts it this way, Lynette. It says in in James chapter 1, verse 12, blessed is the man who perseveres through trials, for his is the crown of life. And the first time God took me to that process, like, man, so why can't I just be blessed for getting to the trial?
Right.
Why can't I get to it and give it to you? But blessed is the man who perseveres through the trial. And I think that's the hardest part of being and demonstrating resilient, right? Being able to look at that problem, realize that there's a problem first of all, and then working through it to get on the other side to change the behavior. But when did you realize that pushing through it wasn't the same as leading well? Like, they're not the same thing. I could be having a hard time and still be expected to lead well, but when did you realize that pushing through required more internal work versus external facade?
I think right now, I mean, when I look at where the company, this is 10 years in the making, right? And so I had to take a step back and say, okay, this business has outgrown where you've even worked. Like, I've exceeded what I've ever experienced. I'm learning like fresh experience, right? So I made a decision to go back to school to do a CEO diploma program. I never imagined that I would be running the size institution or business I'm running today. I also looked at how do I bring persons in who are smarter than me, more equipped than me, to help support the vision of the organization. In my case, I have investors. I have persons who have believed in my vision and said, we will fund you. I have an obligation to them.
Absolutely.
I have an obligation to my team by saying, listen, what was happening 2-3 years ago can't happen this year, can't happen moving forward, because now we're shifting.
Absolutely.
And I think we can't make decisions to change, move forward, and accept that because we want to stay with the status quo. We want to stay in a comfortable place. Growth doesn't happen in comfort, and we know that, right? But we still look for this comfortable feeling. I am uncomfortable every day.
Yes.
You know, I have to stretch. And in order to play in the arena called the Bahamas, you definitely cannot be shy about stretching. Yeah.
Now, you're talking about a concept, Glenette, that many leaders will never, ever embrace. This idea of having people around you that are sharper than you, smarter than you, more equipped than you. So many leaders are walking around, Glenette, insecure. If I let you get any close to my little bit of brilliance, you can take my job.
Right.
You're saying to them, that's not the way to actually grow.
Yes.
When you have people around you that can challenge you and say, well, wait a minute, have you considered, did you think about, you're talking about a different prescription to leadership. Having people around you that can sharpen you, that can challenge you, that can stretch you.
Right.
That's foreign in leadership even today. As evolved as we are as a world, as a nation, as industries, we still find people who are hoarding information, hoarding experiences, and trying to keep those around them who they can control.
Right.
I hope you see where we're taking this conversation tonight. So far, we're talking about the real story behind resilient leadership, how you navigate, how you push through, how you really engage the thought of the construct of resilient leadership. I want you to stay close, because as we continue this conversation when we get back, we're going to go further into the conversation around resilience, but also as a woman. How are things different for you as you lead these very male-dominated industries and looking the way you look, doing it the way you're doing it for 10 years in a row? We're going to continue our conversation. We encourage you to stay close. The breakthrough continues after the break.
Tired of looking at the same old kitchen? Step 1, our talented recommended designer Mark crafts a custom design just for you. Step 2, once your design is ready, CBS Bahamas makes ordering effortless. Your dream kitchen is within reach. Step 3, our recommended installers bring your vision to life, ensuring every detail is perfectly in place. Sit back and relax as your dream space becomes a reality. Visit cbsbahamas.com and start bringing your home improvement dreams to life today.
After 30 years of banking, I've decided to take a leap of faith. I moved from banking into an untapped industry, which is manufacturing in the Bahamas. And now we are standing on 3 acres of land on which we're going to be putting the Bahamas' first end-to-end plastic recycling company, Eden Recycling and Manufacturing Company Limited. Eden has 2 arms, recycling and manufacturing.
This is groundbreaking for us. It's never been done before. It really makes a difference, not only in the Bahamas, but even around the world. This is not just a project that we're doing so that we can make a couple of dollars. We want to make sure that it benefits those who come after us. In future generations, we hope that this is a small vision, that they will take it and they'll expand on it. We can have the formula for what it means to do end-to-end recycling in the Bahamas, in the region, and even if we have to export these ideas and thoughts and concepts even into the U.S.
Welcome back, everyone. If you're just joining me tonight, our guest is Glennette Fowler, and we're talking about resilience and leadership. Glennette, earlier in the show, I talked about this concept of resilience quotient. What would you say in your mind separates the person who is highly resilience intelligent, who has high resilience intelligence, versus the person who finds it hard to bounce back and regroup after a setback? What is the one thing that separates them?
Well, I think, too, when you are in certain roles, you have a tendency to please people. You have a tendency to want to be accepted all the time, and that's a struggle, right? Because to tell someone what to do, or to tell someone this is the objective, the vision, and it to not go that way,
right?
To fail at an opportunity, to fail at a project, to have something tragic happen, or you lose something, a big client, for example. The recovery sometimes is very hard, and you just don't know where to turn. And I think for you to push past that, you have to have a mindset that I am not going to let anyone detract me from where I'm focusing my energy. When you look at it, once you reach a certain threshold, and I've experienced it, where people believe, because it doesn't even have to be the truth, when people believe a thing about you, when people believe that, okay, they look like they're straight now, it comes with a level of, wonder if they can make it. Wonder if, you know, how are they going to survive that? That thing happened to them, how are they going to do that next thing? I think they finish, right? And so it's getting past that. So I think listening less to the noise that is out there is what determines. And if you want to have a strong, you would say, resilience IQ, you have to be able to turn off the noise. And one of my consultants just told me that the other day. You know, you have to look at noise to focus ratio. You have to focus on what you have to focus on, right?
That's good.
And because we are so, I must make it every time I step outside, everything must work out all the time, you get depressed, you get downtrodden, you get embarrassed, and you just don't come out of that shell. So for you to really have a strong IQ in that area, you have to be less of concern about what's happening from the noise and be more focused on how am I going to make an impact? What have I really set out to do?
Yes.
It's a mindset. It's ego.
Yeah.
You know, releasing the ego that operates behind that, and I think. I don't know any leader that has that down to science, but we all work towards it, I would hope.
Absolutely. Let's talk a minute about the people who believe that they have to be, there's no other recourse but to be the strongest person in the room, carry everybody's weight, walk around with all the weight on their shoulders, and expected to still show up and perform, right? Those people who are high-performing, looking to get the results, looking to achieve the outcome, how do they avoid burnout? But honestly, how do they start having an honest conversation? You don't have to be the strongest in the room. You talked about a bit earlier about having those people who are smarter, sharper around you. How do they avoid being burnt out and literally just burning the candle at both ends?
You know, for me, it's going to come a day once your business is growing, and even if if you want your business to stay a smaller business, even if you are in a C-suite or up-and-coming leader, we will all face that same challenge.
Yes.
What has to happen is we have to be constant learners. What is going to set anyone apart from the next person is their ability to continue to adapt and learn. Without that, you're going to find yourself burning at the two ends, like you said, because you cannot do everything for very long. I remember at my lowest point, I was doing everything.
Wow.
I really was, and it was because, oh, I can't afford that, I can't afford that, I can't, you know, it costs too much. Oh, these people ain't doing it the way I want it done.
Right.
Or this is not the way I want it done. And so you become very self-centered, self-righteous even, and that's not the way the business is going to work. So by me stepping away from working on my operation day to day and really focusing on strategy and moving the needle in the company, looking at how we can repurpose the business, looking at how we can sharpen our commercial units, working with consultants and bringing in stronger support. That is what's been able to give me the ability to look from a clearer lens. You become so clouded that you wind up burning out. And it's natural, you know, even when you train your body as an athlete, at some point you have to have recovery, and we don't get recovery time. So I think you really have to plan that out. When am I going to raise my hand up and say, I surrender, I need some help, I need some support. And you have to be comfortable within your own skin too, that no one could, they could be smarter and all of, no one could really be you.
Absolutely.
No one could ever be you. And so once you are sure about yourself and you continue to work on yourself, that's what's going to give you the confidence to really be able to say, you know what, let me take that moment, let me, you know, say I need support. And I think once you can, you know, bring your self-centeredness down, I think it will really improve your outlook.
You take me to exactly to my next question. You're talking about the ability to recognize, wait, I don't have this together. This is falling apart, I'm losing control here, I need to ask for help. You talk about being self-righteous, right? Being so assured of your ability that you forget that you can actually rely and call on somebody else. Why is it that asking for help is so hard?
Because I think in our minds, it's a sense of I've not done well because I have to ask for help. You know, we watch a lot of YouTube and these podcasts, and we like to talk about the Bezos and the Microsofts and all these guys. We don't know what really makes them tick, but I can tell you, I'm sure they have a workforce behind them or a team behind them allows them to do that. We only see the one person. And I think we will never reach our potential until we accept that we need help. Your business, your career, you have to develop and you have to hone in your skills, and I think that's what's going to separate those who are really successful. And like I said, success does not look like how we think, like the sharpest car or the biggest house or whatever. I think it's learning to find a way to enjoy what you do on a regular basis, even when it's hard, and to be able to pull others along. I think that's a very important part of success as well.
That part, being able to pull others along. That insecurity we talked about earlier, where you have to be the smartest in the room. If you give anybody any insight or any ability to really come along with you, they're going to take your job. Being able to pull others along is real leadership legacy. How are you doing that right now? How are you creating space to pull people along and then to take over the reins, to really be their best selves, to establish leadership legacy for Glynette Fowler?
Well, I had I would say a money coach a few years back, and she said to me, Glynette, you have to put on your oxygen mask first, right? I think the best way we can bring people along is about making sure that we are fit to do so.
Absolutely.
I think trying to bring someone along before you're along is where we kind of crash, right? So making sure that I am equipped, I am learning from my mistakes, my lessons, and learning that it's okay to say, I don't know. I just don't know it right now. And that's been a big help. But also, for me, I'm passionate about seeing other women rise to the occasion. And so I've been really focusing on creating a place where women can reach out to me. I get a lot of support from women. You know, we like to talk about women don't support each other, but I do feel like I've been able to have a level of support from other women. And even some of the men who reach out and say, Glynette, you know, I'm proud of you to know where you came from. It's very helpful. So I think when you can inspire the next generation, I have 2 daughters. If I don't show up in a certain way and I've not taken all of this sacrifice of their time with their mother to make something of value for more than just us, but the teams who support the operations, the communities that we are in, I think then it would be all for nothing.
Absolutely. You talked about bringing other women along and having women support you and you support women. What are some of the unique pressures right now, Glynette, that women face that are often overlooked?
You know, at the end of the day, there will remain for a little while longer. I mean, we want to push past it, and we have Women's International Month, and we've had Women International Days this month. Women are vulnerable. We're emotional. We wear our emotions on our sleeve. I think we tend to feel like that's a problem. I value so much the fact that I have good advisory around me now, because I have an older person from business, you know, within the business world, and they said to me, women have been the backbone of most organizations that have succeeded.
Forever.
Right? And our passion and our vulnerability is what drives us. I know for me, that's what's driven me. That's what keeps me going. That's what has helped me raise capital for the business. That's what has helped me empower my dreams and my vision for the organization. Women need to embrace that. I think sometimes we try to be a man. Like, you know, there have been times I've shown up to meeting, they're expecting some strong, buff someone to show up, and I'm like, no, I'm the lady with the concrete plan, right? But it's about knowing your stuff. I always talk about that, being well-equipped, being informed, and showing up prepared. That's what's going to set you apart. And I think our vulnerability is a superpower when it's used in the right way.
Absolutely.
And having measured and that emotional intelligence is why we have been seeing women rise, because we're able to read the room. We're able to discern. We're able to be very meticulous in our efforts, because we have to work 3 times as hard still today. And I can tell you that we do still have to work hard, and we could deny that all we want. The opportunities that a man can get just by meeting someone on a golf course is different from how I can get an opportunity, because I literally have to find them, I literally have to pitch, I literally have to, you know, make the appointment. And so it just changes the dynamic. But women, we're powerful, but we have to embrace that, but we have to still respect the men in the room too.
Absolutely. What do you think is the biggest lesson men should learn from women right now? It's 2026, you must say 2036, time going so fast. What should men be learning from women and then applying after they've learned it?
I think they should look at us in the business space as business partners. I think we have been in the shadows for a long time, and now we're starting to climb up. And you hear men say sometimes, like, oh, women passing men down. It's because that's the narrative that you have allowed, because women are working harder. When I say it's not to say men aren't, but women are literally going back to school, raising families, doing all of these extra things while having a career. Whereas that's not the world that men have to live in normally. You have men who can just have the experience and that's enough, and then you have women who have to have 7 or 6 degrees to just get the same thing. So I think I would say to men, embrace us as business partners, give us the same equal opportunities, put us to the table, put us on the boards, you know, and that's what's going to make the shift. And where you would have some companies that are well and balanced. I think Nassau Cruise Port is one of those companies I recently found out that has 50-50 ratio of men and women, and I think that's amazing.
Glynette, I want you to answer this question. How do people who seem to have it together and everybody can rely on, how do they create boundaries? Because when you're the one that can always get at them, and no matter what you do, it is done well, people take advantage of that. They take it for granted. How does that person, male or female, set a clear boundary that they're not going to be taken advantage of, even though they are overproducer or produce really well?
The reality is you have to be upfront. I think we have a lot of passive-aggressive leadership. So we want to be in the C-suite, or we want to be in the boardroom, or however. And so we take on responsibilities, or we volunteer for responsibilities because we know it's going to put us in the space. But at the end of the day, we're not happy with that decision. I think we need to be able to have very pointed questions. You know, what is the KPI for this? Why? What are we trying to achieve together? I believe if we work more as in a unit. So sometimes you have ideas, and because you may feel like it's not going to be received, you just create this environment where, oh, Mark can get it done. Just keep giving it to him. Just keep giving it to him. But I think we need to learn how to have conversations, and when conversations are difficult, learn how to write. I think sometimes we are intimidated by people, or we are, you know, desensitized by the environment we are in. But we have to learn how to do things respectfully. I think one of the reasons we can't have conversation is because we always have to be aggressive in our conversation. But I think if we learn how to have respectful conversations, you know, sometimes it's out of the office.
Yeah.
Say, you know, let's have a lunch, let's talk about this. This is something I'm not a fan of. I think this is not, you know, what I signed up for. This does not align with where I'm going. That's the conversations we need to have.
Indeed.
And we also have to not be afraid of the consequences of conversations. So you could have a conversation, and you can do it with all the tact in the world, but be aware that consequences come, whether positive or negative, and prepare mentally for that.
Indeed. Do you think that transparency has a place in leadership?
Transparency?
Yeah.
I think it has a double-edged sword, right? You over-explain, I would say you be overly transparent, and it can backfire. You don't be transparent enough, it has worse consequences because lack of communication leads to discomfort. So I think building a rapport with the people that support your work, that you work with, is going to be the best answer to that, because there are some people you need to be able to read. Yes, I have to share a little bit more. I have to be a little bit more open in this discussion with this person. This is what's going to make them feel like they're part of what we're doing. And there are some persons over-communicating will hurt the relationship.
You can stop right there and come back and pick that part up. We got to take a quick break. Stay close. We're going to go further into how you communicate effectively, even as you build your resilience as a leader. Stay close. Your breakthrough continues after the break.
More than 3 decades, the Bahamas Bridal Show has made dreams come true, all on a single day in a ballroom decorated wall to wall. Meet 14 wedding and home suppliers, giving away thousands of dollars in great prizes while you enjoy a fashion show, wedding demonstrations, food, and champagne sampling. Someone to Love comes to Bahamas Grand Hyatt, 2 p.m. Sunday, March 22nd. Purchase tickets for this spectacular wedding and event show at bahamasevents.net or call 421-9783.
Mailboat service is a critical service to the islands of the Bahamas. Certainly, Andrews has always been there and dear to us. That's where we're born and raised. And so we play a crucial role in advancing the growth and development of Andrews. Customers want service and they want consistency. From the start, that's been our commitment. We work to sail on time every time. Our customers have come now to expect this from us. And one of the biggest challenges we've had was finding adequate funding. SBDC from the very start has been a lifesaver. My advice to young people, if you have a vision, a passion, an idea, go for it. Don't give up. It's not easy. If it was, everybody would be doing it. Be consistent and you'll get there.
Welcome back, everyone. If you're just joining us, my guest tonight is Glynette Fowler, and we're discussing what it means to be resilient in leadership. Glynette, you live in a part of our nation, in Grand Bahama, that has undergone so much. Freeport, I mean, it's just been thing after thing after thing. How does that island nation continue to be so resilient? How are people bouncing back? How have you found the strength to continue to thrive, especially when moments where, because you're doing well, somebody could get envious of that, somebody could think different of you? How do you navigate that? How has Freeport been able to bounce back, one? And how have you been able to remain forceful in business despite what's going on around you?
Well, definitely, I think anyone who has a business in Freeport could say, if you could do business in Freeport, you could go anywhere and do business, right? Because it's a hard city. And when I say that, it's because we've had a lot of obstacles over the last, since I've been in business, it's been obstacle after obstacle, so I can only imagine those prior to me. But I think what we need in Freeport is not just a vision, but execution. I think execution is what's holding us back. My survival has come because I've been moving around the country and moving around globally, getting business from different aspects. And trust me, I always tell people, preparing to do well is subjective, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Because you can have very strong years and you could have years where you have to really squeeze the last drop out of the bucket. And so I think it's just always retooling, repositioning, and I think we have to stop looking at the Bahamas as an individual island, right? We have to look at the Bahamas as business owners. Where are the opportunities in the Bahamas? How do we embrace doing business across the Bahamas? And so that is what's helped me to maintain Freeport. It's by stepping out of Freeport and expanding, the operation, the opportunity is, because when you look at it, you have employees, you have families who are depending on you, and I don't care what anyone say in that position, you have sleepless nights.
Absolutely.
How are you going to make ends meet? How are you going to continue on? Because it's more than you have to think about. And being sure that, but I do believe in Freeport, that's why I'm still there. I do believe that we just need to look at what is it that works best for the island, put the people in the room who can lean in to give that advisory, but it's about the execution. It's really about what is driving the wedge, why the lights didn't kick over. And I think when we look at the initiatives that are coming online, what the government is working on and things of that nature, I think it always feels like it's on the brink and we're just ready for it to kick over on the other side of that. Take root, yes.
Got it. When you think, Lynette, of the biggest failure you've had to endure, I mean, not just sick, I can't believe this happening to me. Can you recount that moment? Not necessarily the actual failure, but I'll leave it up to you to share what you want to share, but can you recount the moment, the thing leading up to it, the anticipation for the success, and then what kind of thing is this thing you're working out? And then how you wake up and say, you know what, let me keep it moving.
I think when we talk about Freeport, because at the end of the day, we have to be realistic. When you look, you watch the news. Freeport is in an economic state where, are we gonna be able to move forward? And so being in business in that environment, you always feel like it's, oh my goodness, it's the end of the world. You know what I mean? So you can get a project today and then it's like, whoa, where's the next project coming from? But people are relying on you in a position you're being looked up to. At the same time, you're trying to feel like you have support, you're stressed, and you have to do all of that, like you said, and pretend to be strong, which unfortunately, no way around trying to do that. I don't care what anyone says, no one wants to look like the leader doesn't know what they're doing. But having the real conversations, and I think one of my most pivotal moments, just going even beyond that, was when I got a contract, but I had no way to fund the contract.
Wow.
And I told this story recently about how I gave up 4,999 of my 5,000 shares so that I can get a job. People would be like, that is the craziest thing ever. But my thing is, what else was I gonna do? I could have just not done it, right? Then you wouldn't be sitting here talking to me. So by me doing that, I was able to open doors for other people. I was able to open up a bigger operation for persons to be employed. I was able to make sacrifices that I think will pay off in the long run.
Absolutely.
But you have to come out of living in fear. And that's what I did for a long, long time. I lived in fear. I lived in denial. All these people don't like me, and so now it's like, well, they ain't gonna like you either way, so, you just have to
might as well go kill it.
Just my soul go and do what you have to do. Indeed. So definitely that's the part of it. So I think I have been able to continue moving forward, knowing that something else can come and throw me off my horse tomorrow, but I have to ride the horse that I'm on right now.
Absolutely, that's a good one. I have to ride the horse that I'm on right now.
Yes.
Realizing that what you have now is what matters most. As you plan for what's coming, still take advantage of what you're on right now, what's happening to you right in this moment. Enjoy the moment, experience the moment, whether it's a failure or a level of success. You mentioned earlier, Glennette, we're celebrating International Women's Month, and we've recently celebrated International Women's Day, and you've enjoyed having strong women around you and advisory positions in the person of your mom and whatnot. But how important is it that women really support one another in business and in leadership?
You know, I think that we have a secret competition that happens sometimes that no one signed up for. And I mean, I don't think any woman signs up for it, but we have a way to make each other feel less than. And I think when I see women, and I've been amazed this month, like I've had opportunities to be, in particular, Minister Jo Beth. She was at a lunch that I was able to attend with the Prime Minister last week. Just learning and listening to her story. The women at Nassau Cruise Port, I mentioned that port earlier, Maya there. I look at the women in the operation where I am, the consultants that I have, and I realize that we focus so much on what we're not doing that we need to focus on. It's like a bad child in a class. They get the most attention. So we look at who has the problem with what we're doing with us. Then you start to make up who has a problem. Does it right and be anyone who have a problem, right? So my thing is, let's start focusing on the women who are trying to pull together and make something happen. I think we have to move away from this dismissive, 2 of us can't be at the table, 3 of us can't be doing the same thing. And I think we have to look at the opportunities. One thing men do well is when it comes down, and we don't like to talk about it, but when it comes down to making money, they put all swords down, they're going to do that. Women have to start thinking about our future, our involvement, our involvement in the development of this country, and what's going to really make the children that we're bringing into this world have the opportunities that we are striving to have earlier on.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's a tension, Glennette, between responsibility and emotional capacity. How should leaders manage the weight they carry without being overwhelmed by it? What do you actually practically do to carry the weight but not become overwhelmed by it?
One thing I've been doing, stop having so many meetings. So, you know,
like
we have a lot of meetings.
Stop having a meeting.
And I think we have a lot of meetings sometimes because we don't know what to do next.
Wow.
Like you step away from having a meeting, but in a sense of responsibility and a serious note, you know, I think we have to pace ourselves. And I think and I always talk, and I didn't disclaim before speaking tonight, I don't have all the answers, and I never pretend to have all the answers, but I can only tell you from my perspective what I've seen, what I've experienced, and what may have not worked and what has worked. But I think learning to step away and not having all the answers today and being able to say, you know what, I need a moment to think about this. I need some more time. I need to get some counsel on this. That's what changes your level of how you manage your responsibility. We choose to carry all of the burden alone. That's a choice. And when we make that choice, we have to live with the decisions of that choice. And so coming from a place where I've been in that position, it's a freeing opportunity that I have right now that I can just say, you know what? Hey, I'm excited. I'm getting up every day. I don't know what I'm doing today, but I'm going to do it the best of my of my ability and champion the cause.
When you think, Glennette, of the leader who has endured what they consider all they can endure, I can't give this no more. This business, this is the 5th time this happened to me. This is the 4th storm I had to endure. This is the 4th child drop out of school. This the mortgage and call me. How do these people? What word do you give them right now to really, really muster up the strength, the courage, the wisdom, the foresight to push forward, to keep moving, and to pick up one more time and try again?
I think we have to know when we have reached our limits too, and we have to walk in alignment. And sometimes things are just not lining up, and it's nothing that you did. There are a lot of forces that work against businesses sometimes. Sometimes it's the environment, sometimes it's the policies, sometimes it's new entrants. I've experienced it, you know what I mean? But at some point, you have to say, you know what, is this making me whole? Because like I said earlier, we tie the business to us.
Yes, yes, yes.
And because of the shame that comes with, boy, she had to close that business down, we just suffer in pain and silence, and we fight against what is a decision that we need to make. And this is something I wrestle with when I have to, because my thing is, you're in business to make money, aren't we all?
Absolutely.
You're in your career because you want to advance, you want to do well, you want to take care of your family, but only the person going through it will know when it's time. And I always want people, because of my experiences, to recognize that there's no shame in fighting the fight and realizing, you know what, I gave it my best shot.
Yes, yes, yes.
This didn't work out, but I'm not done yet. Something else will come along the next time, and something will happen. You know, you could be on the rise today, and just one bad move could wipe you out. And you have to be more than the business and your career. It's just what it is.
You have to be more than the business and the career. If you've allowed that to define you, it will control you.
It will.
Wow. What would you say, as we wind down, Glenette, is the biggest lesson you've learned, or the most important lesson you've learned over your time in leadership and in business?
You have to take the bad with the good. I think we just love the good. But bad is going to happen. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to have, unfortunately, enemies. You're going to have persons who will not support you. But I think at the end of it all, once you are being true to yourself, and pushing past the noise, as I said earlier, you will find that there's such a spark in your life when you look at the moments. I mean, I think about just going to a play with my children last night and how amazing that was to spend the time with them. That's what the moments you're really working for. So I think we have to rise above the facade and the look and be real with ourselves. Be real. If you can't be real with anyone, be real with yourself.
At least.
And get the support you need. I have been so much now a proponent of the support is important, that at this point, I don't know who's hiring. I don't know who is on the performance review. I just know what I need to do. And it's a freeing experience, because you're trusting people now, where in places you once had to do all of these things. And I think that's really what's amazing, and the growth there. It's not saying you're detached from everything, but it's saying that I have gotten to a place where support is no longer scary, and you can now open yourself up to new opportunities.
It's how you can scale.
It's how you scale.
Wow. Glenette, a few months ago, it's my final question for you. I was in a bookstore getting a gift for a friend of mine, and I saw two young girls. They were 11 and 13. They're sisters. And they tell me they watch this show religiously every week. And I couldn't believe it. I figured this should be above your interest level at this point. But those two young ladies, and anybody else watching tonight, that's a young girl thinking about this, thinking about entrepreneurship, thinking about leadership, looking at the world around and thinking, I can't fit in. What is one piece of advice or counsel you would offer to those young women tonight?
I think what I would say to any young woman tonight is have a standard for yourself. When you drop your standards, and I've experienced where you just settle for less. When you drop your standards, the life you have is the life you've chosen. And I think...
When you drop your standards, the life you have is the life you have chosen.
Yeah.
That should be in the Bible somewhere. That got to be somewhere in Job somewhere.
It probably is.
When you drop your standards,
Proverbs,
the life you live is the life you've chosen.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right. So you could always change your standards, by the way. I think we tie ourselves to our decisions.
Yes.
At any moment, you can make a decision. And I think when you're young, that's what parents really should be teaching us, you know? What standard of life do you want to have?
Wow.
And if you ingrain that within yourself, there's a lot of things you are not allowed to continue or transpire. You would be able to shift and move and maneuver and grow past adversity and grow past the pain, really.
My Lord, ladies and gentlemen, leaders from all generations, you have had, I believe, a great lesson tonight. When you drop your standards, the life you live is the life you have chosen. Tonight, we didn't just talk about resilience, we redefined it. We were reminded that resilience is not about how much you can carry, but how wisely you choose what to carry. That leadership is not just about showing up for others, but staying connected to yourself. And that strength, real strength, is not found in pretending. to have it all together and trying to have all the courage in the world, but it's about having the courage to lead with clarity, intention, and truth. To every leader watching tonight, if you've been pushing, if you've been carrying, if you've been holding it all together, maybe tonight is your moment. Not to quit, not to step back, but to realign. Because the most effective leaders are not the ones who endure the most. They are the ones who learn how to lead well and live well at the same time. To Lynette Fowler, thank you so much for running it down with us tonight. I believe that you've really unlocked something tonight. You've shown us how your vulnerability, your honesty, and your incredible insights on resilience leadership can really help somebody else on their journey. And to you, our viewers, thank you once again for joining us for another episode of the Rundown on Leadership. This is the place where leaders do come to think deeper, lead better, and grow stronger. I invite you to stay stay tuned to the Bahamas Tonight with Makusha Lapinder at 11 p.m., where we will have the final broadcast on all things happening in news. I am Amadou Shah Thompson for the Rundown on Leadership. Until next time, continue striving to be the very best version of yourself. We'll see you next week should the Lord days calling. Take care, everyone. Good night.
In Harbour Island, North Eleuthera, I'm Charles Fisher. This is ZNS.
It's time for Focus Forward, sponsored by Invest Grand Bahama. It's Grand Bahama's best talk show, highlighting all of the positive things happening in Freeport. Look forward to our special guests each week that will tell you about events, activities, and initiatives that are making a remarkable impact on our community. You'll also hear from